literally that it be that way sometimes. It really do. But Muggs was being some bitches, G. And it's really sad to see. Really freaking sad to see. But it be that way. It really, really do. But y'all, you guys thoughts on it?
Um, yeah, me personally, I agree with you. It's what the performance center for. Literally, what they it's performance center. They're helping that nigga performance. No homo. So I don't care about like um him going to the performance center. There's not something that's going to be burying him. He literally had a WWE 24 not too long ago, Untold Story or whatever the hell it was called,
Yeah, the 24.
of him, his journey to the main roster, and how much Vince McMahon loved this dude. His Rumble debut was against Brock Lesnar.
Hmm?
Like, and then WrestleVotes, somewhat of a reliable source for leaks in terms of wrestling, literally said one of the matches for Mania could be him, Drew McIntyre, and Brock Lesnar in the triple threat. So, not trying to hear it. Another slow news day. Somebody just leaked that shit just to get people talking. It is what it is.
Yep. Tyler.
Um, I don't really think too much of it. One thing that I did get out of it was people gotta remember these are athletes. That's just like, with basketball. Your coach tell you, hey, your jump shot looking a little rusty. I need you to shoot such and such shots, until you start to find your rhythm again. It's all about repetition. You need to, brush up on your skills, whether you're the best, whether you're John Cena, Randy Orton. I'm pretty sure if they had they do. If they need to go to the performance center and do something, they go and do it.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't. It wasn't nothing. Cry over and make it seem like, oh, they're they're not taking. They don't see Keith Lee as as high as we thought we did. It's like you guys literally, whatever they dangle in front of you, they bite at it. That's how I see the wrestling community. So I didn't really think much of it. It's just the internet wrestling community just being goofy again. So.
Goofy as hell because they making it seem like, oh, he was on main event, nigga. For one, they ain't doing house shows. So for somebody who, even though Keith Lee only been wrestling for what, like 4 or 5 years all together, he hasn't really he doesn't have like long wrestling experience like people like Seth Rollins does and stuff like that. Like he still has a lot to learn. So especially in terms of the WWE type style. So for him, it's like, okay, I don't have house shows. They can do house shows, so put him on main event so he can do some stuff. Use the performance center so he can still work on some kinks. Like, yes, we know Keith Lee's a great performer. He really is. It's like one of the best performers out there. Don't mean he's perfect. Like, I'm pretty sure when Muggs on the verge of coming back from injury, they go to the performance center. There's no problem with that. And then plus, if I'm Keith Lee, even Otis as well, I have the opportunity to learn from Drew Gulak, one of the best workers in the company, and I'm getting paid millions to learn from Drew Gulak, and from Drew Gulak as well. I'm getting paid millions to teach niggas. Be my guest. I'll do what the hell you need me to be. But if I'm Otis and Keith Lee, it's like, oh, okay, I'm learning from somebody who's one of the best workers and not even just in the company, but in the world, to some. So, I'm taking my W's where I can. And if it means that I could be better than what I am now, it's like, oh, okay, like it's no problem with that. And Muggs just need to stop looking at things in such a fucking bitch made ass mindset, narrow mindset, because at the end of the day, it's just freaking wrestling.
Man, it's just wrestling, bro.
It is.
Y'all about to ruin this big man's push because y'all overdoing it.
Exactly.
Keith Lee wrestles an extremely indie style. Extremely indie. Let my man tone it down to work on big powerhouse moves even more. That's just not a run and push, a spirit bomb, and a press. Like let him get it. Let him be a giant, which he is. He's just not a fat nigga who can move fast like fucking Otis or that nigga, that big dude on NXT. He's a big, tall nigga that is extremely athletic. So you can do a lot with him.
Exactly.
I see big things from Keith Lee. I do see him as a champion, even if it's intercontinental or US. That nigga's old.
He's 35. Yeah.
I want to keep y'all real with you. That black hair of his is just for men. That's just for men.
It's a lot of hair dye.
No cap.
It's a lot of hair dye that man use. Like it's a reason why that he always shaves his beard. He shaves that beard often because he knows some gray in there. He's 35. So they just to maximize the talent that they have. And yes, it's dope to see Keith Lee do freaking top rope moves, jump off the top rope, jump outside and stuff. That is dope. But we don't need to see that on goddamn every week on Raw. Just because he can do it. That goes back to that AEW style of wrestling where it's just like, hey, and once again, this is no shade towards AEW. That's their style that they choose to be with. Let them be with because every match gotta feel like a damn pay-per-view. But even then, it don't even gotta be used for goddamn TLC. No offense to the pay-per-view of TLC, which we'll talk about later. But it's no shade towards that pay-per-view. But like, save those moments for like big time matches. Not just Raw, not just your average Joe on a run pay-per-view like a TLC or goddamn Backlash or something. Let it be saved for those moments because yes, we know he can do it. We know it, but it's to preserve him as well.
Right.
Like you have a 35-year-old man. He's also played football up to the college level. So there's a lot of breaking down of the body off that alone. He played O-line, so literally it's a car crash every goddamn play. So the man, they trying to preserve what they have, which is who is a potential superstar talent for them. He's already a star in itself. They believe in the man. They give him 2 different theme songs, and literally within 2 months. So, like, they believe in him clearly, and he's still on TV every goddamn week.
Every week.
It's
nothing to be worried about with Keith Lee or even any of the other guys really. As far as having to work on, because you got to think about Dio Madden's literally, this is his first run in a ring. He's gonna need
green
that work.
As shit.
He's gonna need those. He's gonna need that. Then
exactly.
what's the name of AJ Styles' manager? Whatever his name is.
Be a big dude.
He's gonna need it because he literally
He's super green. He is green as hell.
He used to play basketball, I think. He came from a completely different sport.
So literally, and then guess what? Most of the people that we seen, most people who's on that list, Keith Lee, Otis, Dio Madden. We saw big folks, but he not in ring ready. But in the Raw Underground dudes, we didn't see them 2. But we saw 4 of them niggas, 3 of them in the ring and on TV immediately afterwards because they know like, hey, we gotta make sure it works. Yes, Keith Lee literally had a great match with Miz and Morrison. He had a good match against Angel Garza. There's nothing wrong with literally what they're doing because clearly they still on TV. Otis literally looked and it's a difference in the ring with Otis, even though Roman Reigns freaking still stepped that nigga to God, but it was a difference. It's like okay, they for one it means they still believe in Otis.
Exactly.
So it's just like mugs need to sit and look at the bigger picture. Stop being so goddamn acute with everything and look at the broader picture. And also, Vince McMahon don't mean Vince McMahon hates fat people. The nigga love big people, G. He just wants them to perform in a certain way that makes them last. That's why Big Show, even though Big Show's slow and stubby at this point of his career, Big Show is still able to at least walk down the ring and give a solid 5 minutes of performance. That's why Big Show's able to still perform. Mark Henry even though he tore every freaking bone in his body at one point, was able to maximize the tail end of his career. He changed his style up. Because Mark Henry, just like Keith Lee, at one point was very athletic. He had to tone it down a lot because his body freaking kept breaking down. So it's Vince McMahon looking at, especially Otis and Keith Lee, even though Otis is probably more going to be a mid-card star at the very best. But Keith Lee, who he's huge on, is like, let me protect my stars and make them better so I can see something better in the long term. Otis, let me help him get some ring work in. It's for the greater good. It's for the greater good. So it's like Moses need to chill, G, straight up. Like, please, just freaking
Stop making
chill.
it seem like, Vince is just picking on the fat guys. Like that's some grade school shit.
Yeah,
leave that alone.
Like, half the damn roster's black. Like, gee, he's making sure people. And also, yes, I understand Nia Jax freaking injures people, but it be that way. Nobody has gotten hurt. She literally has put Lana through a table for 10 weeks straight, and Lana has not gotten hurt. So I guess that's an improvement. So be cool. Please be cool. Especially even towards Nia Jax, and that's just me being a stand, but I'm just throwing it out there. Next thing, also, did you guys see the Talking Smack with Big E and Paul Heyman?
Yeah, I saw the reaction towards it.
Yeah. I liked it. Like, Paul Heyman does a good. This is like the third straight week where he put somebody over. Like, he's doing such a good job just putting people over. But and it just also just shows that he know, like, he's one of the people who's in and out the writing room. He knows what's going on. He knows who they're trying to push and all of that. So he's using this platform very freaking well. But like with the Big E thing, even with a while ago with Bianca Belair, he clearly sees the talent, and I like what he said about Big E, and just the tail end about you don't see them bringing up the Shield with Roman Reigns. I was like, I chuckled because I'm like, sometimes they still do. But in terms of like overall, like clearly they have big plans for Big E. Whether it's the IC guy, or the fringe mid-card main event type guy. They have big plans for the guy. And Big E knows it. And I think even just hearing Paul Heyman say that benefits him even more, because I think it will push him to say, hey, you're clearly doing something right. Clearly. So, but like overall, like I liked it. It was cool. You guys go ahead and talk.
Yeah, that's Paul Heyman's job, is to put people over. So that's it. That's how I see it. That's his job. He's gonna do it every time you see a new star.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember somebody he did it with recently. Other than Big E, he did a lot.
He did with Bianca Belair.
Very well. He did it a lot with Roman while he was going against Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just say, he would say, you're the right guy at the right place at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, stuff like that. So yeah, he's really good at that. Just like some stuff people was reminiscing what he did with Punk. I think to myself, like, Punk never needed somebody like a mouthpiece, but Paul Heyman added that extra factor to Punk's reign when Paul Heyman was with him. So, yeah, it just sometimes it don't work. Right back.
Ryback is another example of somebody that needed to be in the performance center, because that was the main reason nobody wanted to work with his ass, because he continuously hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Curtis Axel. Any Paul Heyman guy, really, before Punk and Brock Lesnar, or after Punk and Brock Lesnar, before Roman.
Was Cesaro a Heyman guy at one point?
Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah. Yep.
It didn't work, so. Yeah. I just like it. Big E about to do some big things. They try.
Yeah, they trying, and like I clearly see what they're doing with it, and clearly I see he sees the vision as well, and that's the most important part. As long as he sees it and takes advantage of the moment. Tyler, you go ahead.
Pretty much the same thing you guys saying. Like he's really good with foreshadowing who he knows, is next in line to be, one of the top stars, in any division. But what he said about Big E specifically is, that's a big, pat on the shoulder. That's coming from Paul Heyman. Like you said, he's done this for other guys before. Like I like what he said, what he talked about with Kevin Owens the week prior too. But just knowing that Paul Heyman believes in Big E, that's a big pat on the shoulder.
Yeah, definitely is. Let's go ahead and move on. Also, YouTube listeners and watchers, I forgot to hit record from the record. Welcome to Threes from the Ring. This is episode 99. I know we're 16 minutes into recording the video aspect, but I forgot to hit the goddamn button. Of course, we got your boy Chris J, Trell here, Tyler here. So just throwing it out there because you YouTube niggas, you probably just like, yo, what the hell just happened? But you really didn't miss much. Letting it be known. But anyway, if you want to catch the beginning, hit audio. Won't happen again. Forgive me. We're still learning. But let's go and talk about TLC. TLC is this Sunday. Tyler, please pay Vince McMahon, G.
He'll be paid on Friday.
Please pay Vince McMahon, G. Because more and more stuff keeps getting locked up. Because he knows you're fucking him over. So he wants his money.
Hey.
But TLC, tables, ladders, chairs, it will take place at Tropicana Field at St. Petersburg, Florida, because that's where the Thunderdome is currently. Because they got kicked out the Amway Center because the Magic got to play. So it be that way sometimes. But let's go ahead, talk about do our real preview for that right now. I think as of right now, the card is solidified. I just don't think they confirmed which matches is actually going to have stipulations. Some of these stipulations are still pretty vague. But New Day versus the Hurt Business, specifically Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. So overall, I think this is where the Hurt Business finally goes over. It makes sense. The New Day kind of been they held it enough. It's time to let them go over. Ain't like if not, they're just going to rematch again. But I think it's time for the Hurt Business to go over. Put the gold on Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin. I like Cedric Alexander. His attitude lately has been hilarious, especially after he got pins on both Cedric and on Shelton. Fucking getting niggas mixed up. All these niggas. Xavier Woods and Kofi. His attitude is very hilarious. It's like instead of being like the overly tough guy, which I know he's not, he's kind of like the geeky, cocky nigga, and I like it. Kind of gives them a fresh air because everybody else is very stoic, bald, and old. So it kind of makes sense. But I like Cedric Alexander's energy, but I think they go over finally in this match.
Yeah, shout out to them. I don't think they go over though, but I would love to see them go over, which I'm hoping for. Gives the Hurt Business something other than that U.S. title that bro not defending like that.
Nobody to fight.
What you say?
He really don't got much of a mid card to fight.
Yeah, I can't wait till this COVID stuff is over. But I hope that they go over, even though I don't think they are. But I love to be proven wrong. I'm trying to think. I'm happy that Cedric actually has something now, other than him just fighting Buddy Murphy and Mustafa Ali in 205 Live until they can't fight no more. Him being a heel, his face looks such like a little kid that it's very hard for me to, take it as a heel. But he's growing on me. Still, I will say this: the one scene on Raw that I wish they would have changed, and I'm telling you, it would have been all over the internet. Yeah, Bobby Lashley would have poured milk on that nigga like Nino Brown did his wife in New Jack City, and just start spraying on him while he on the table. Like, come on, man. That would have been perfect. Perfect. Because one, you messed up that raw ass suit Bobby Lashley had on for no reason. So yeah. But if you want to put that on, like, nigga, come on.
That has been dope.
Hey, Tyler, who you got?
I think the Hurt Business should win this match. I think it's time, and plus, with Raw's tag team division being kind of stagnant, you don't want to keep the New Day as the champs for too much longer because it's literally nobody else for them to fight right now. So you might as well let them go back and forth. Even if you have them drop the belt, then get it back, go back and forth for a little bit. That'll be cool. Just keep it interesting, keep people guessing a little bit. But I definitely think the Hurt Business should go over. Helps legitimize the group, a little bit more. Everybody aside from MVP has a belt.
Yeah, I agree. Damn, I'm really looking at this pay-per-view is very freaking Raw heavy. Next, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus Asuka and insert person here. At this point, I think they should just remove Asuka and just give it to Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, especially since Mandy Rose is back now. Asuka serves no purpose to be in this match, especially since Lana's gone. Well, at least injured, TV injured, because what's her name, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax broke her finally. So, but I think, I believe it's going to be switched to Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, which leads to Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose winning the belts off them, because I think Asuka's going to play a role in interfering, which then leads to Asuka and fighting them two in Rumble.
I think whoever is going to be Asuka's partner fight Asuka at the Rumble. I can care less about the women's tag division at this point. Me personally don't want to see Charlotte come back at all.
I was just about to say it's a possibility.
She's on the verge of
they
coming
both
back.
Get the belts.
It's a collision,
and then
course.
They fight at the Rumble or something like that.
It's a collision course. Charlotte's coming back. It's a collision course.
She's coming back, but let her come back on SmackDown or something, yo.
But speaking of the women's division as a whole, I got a question for you guys. Because with it being like where it's only, they got so much talent on all three shows. Do you think they would ever, or should they ever, just combine the whole women's roster and just let them, roam freely through either shows?
I wouldn't say give
it would help the tag division a lot more.
I think that in terms of the tag division, it should be like that. If you literally, it's that way. It's easy to just throw a partner with somebody and say make it work. Especially with all the women NXT has. NXT has too many women that's just not being used. It would benefit more on the NXT end, because right now I would say one thing they're doing that I like is they're finding ways to do mid-card women stuff. It's just it don't happen weekly. And I feel like we have a freaking pandemic, so it's not like the roster's all over the place. They should look into just giving the women their own show.
I was just about to ask you. That was my next question. Should the women just get their own show?
Yeah, I think they
have a plethora of talent right now.
Yeah, like it's a good way for one to work some of the some of the unused talent that they have, and it's also a way to progress storylines between the main belts, between the main titles, women's titles, and it helps at least get a tag team champion something to do.
Okay, I know what y'all saying, and it sounds nice on paper.
It do,
but they don't need that way. NXT literally is able to have damn near 3 women storylines on one fucking hour show, or 2 hours as it is now. Raw is 3 hours. SmackDown is the biggest show WWE has. There's no excuse for them not to do anything with those women. Now, if the conversation is talent pool, yes.
Yeah, the talent pool on the main roster is thin.
But they can always call up Jasmine Duke and her, Roger Strong's wife, who's been in NXT for about forever now. They can call up.
Wife? I didn't know she had.
I think the Dark Hair is Roger Strong's wife. Yeah.
Oh,
I think.
Know.
And then you can even form with them two people. You can form a stable with Shayna.
Mm-hmm.
Shayna with the women's title.
Oh yeah, what happened to those strong ass bitches that Shayna was with? G, see, that's what I mean. They got unused talent.
They're in NXT still. They are the MMA 4 horsewomen, right?
Yeah.
With Ronda's crowd, you have a lot of, you got like, I think her name is like Kat Zingano or Katie something. I don't freaking know. You got the black chick. You got Indy Hartwell in NXT. You have a lot. You still have a lot on the main roster. Peyton Royce, Billy Kay, broke up the Iconics. Made no sense because you're not using Peyton Royce the way
one. And I haven't seen at least what's the one with the very round head?
Billy Kay.
Billy Kay. At least she pops up on TV on SmackDown. You know, it's comedic. She pops up.
She's a comedy act, and it works, right?
It works. That's why I'm saying at least she's on TV.
You got Natalia. You can do something with Natalia.
Natalia's always doing something.
She did something with the Team SmackDown, but Team SmackDown got washed so bad that we don't, talk about it. You got Bailey is feuding with Bianca, and that's great.
Which is good, yep.
So that's 2 women's storylines on SmackDown, which is you can keep. That's a nice pace. This is Raw. Raw women's storylines is all intertwined into one. Nikki Cross is in purgatory. Really in purgatory. You don't do it because I made feud should be with Alexa Bliss, but Alexa Bliss is kind of a token for Bray Wyatt at the moment, or the Fiend, whatever you want to call him. It's a lot. You can do more with this division. So making one big show just because the tag titles are lackluster, it's a cop out, and then nobody will watch the shit. So then you waste the money.
True.
You can do. They big stars are gone, which is Charlotte and Becky. We're not seeing Becky for at least probably 7 months more.
Probably not gonna see Becky until 2022.
You know what I'm saying? So
maybe longer.
See Becky again.
It's a possibility we won't see Becky again. But I'm gonna say I don't think she's gonna go.
I know she's gonna be part time whenever she come back.
Yeah, she's gonna be part time. That's why I said, like, she could honestly be the big surprise. Like, I want to sit there and say she's gonna be part time, but like, she's going when she pops up, she's gonna probably do like one or two storylines a year. Like, and it's gonna be around SummerSlam, Mania, or Rumble time, around those time frames.
Yeah, which is nice, but. And then actually, in all actuality, you gotta start, using the women you got in the back because Charlotte is older than what people think. She's really older. I don't know if she's pushing 40, but she's probably about to push 40. And that's like when a wrestler pushes 40, that's like, he getting there. And I'm pretty sure she wants to have a family.
Mm-hmm.
And Sasha is in a prime, so they don't count. Asuka is definitely getting older because Asuka's been wrestling forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think that's why WWE giving her this nice long title run because they know Asuka time is limited, and she probably want to do a full YouTube career at the end of all of this.
Mm-hmm. And she got a family.
She has a future in. So. Yeah. They got a lot, and they got a lot of like back NXT talent that could be on the main roster. So I don't think that's just excuse. It's just like there is that COVID thing is fucking up a lot still. And
And
it's going to
injuries.
be very hard for any company, especially WWE, recover from it because it's just it affects your talent on just a level. Yeah.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Yeah,
I
like I
see.
said, the TV show, it's something that's gonna happen, but I wouldn't say it's gonna happen down the line because just you have the woman roster to do it, but I also get where I get where you're coming from. Like I definitely do where you get from why they don't need to do it. It's not a need, but I see it's something that they could just do down the line to just work certain talent down the line. So, but let's go ahead and move on to the next. Sasha versus Carmella. Uh, there's no stipulation for this match. I see it probably will. It's probably gonna be a chairs match. Honestly, I can see this as being the mandatory chairs match.
Ain't they
Uh,
saying this? Ain't they saying this? The main event for
No, they were
TLC.
the main event of SmackDown
yeah, they
last
main event
Friday.
of
Oh,
SmackDown. Yeah, I'm gonna say, bro, like this hasn't even been pushed on the
No,
like on neither. Like no shade to Sasha or Carmella, but I'm like this hasn't been pushed like that. But Sasha's clearly gonna win this. I do like how Carmella is coming off as a threat, but we know Sasha is not about to lose this belt to White Hazel E. So I'm good on
there's a
Carmella.
good chance she do. Sasuke's title. I mean, Sasuke's title reigns do not last long.
Yeah, we know, but I'm just being optimistic that they're just not going to put Carmella over like that. But especially since that is something they keep bringing up in storylines. Sasha doesn't have long title reigns, so it's just the way of saying, "Hey, she's going to overcome it." But Sasha wins.
I say Sasha wins too. I don't think it's too because Carmella just came back. I don't see her taking the belt off her right after her return. There's no
Yeah.
reason to do it.
Now, if Sasha does lose, it's because she has an acting gig coming up.
Yeah,
So
and it
that's
could
the
just be the whole temporary thing,
only
like how
reason why.
she'll
So
probably just get it right back as soon as she comes back, like similar to what Cody Rhodes did when he dropped his
man,
TNT belt.
fuck Cody Rhodes, man. So you just come. That's disrespectful to Sasha. G, come on, man.
I'm just talking about the situation, but
Are you gonna go see the Cody
I do
movie? I
think
don't even know
she's.
what movie Cody in.
It was some show, some wrestling show on
He
Showtime or some shit. I don't know,
sound like he gonna be on
but
Dark Side of the Ring, so I'm good.
But I do think she's gonna have a longer title run, especially like you said. They keep bringing up that she hasn't had lengthy title runs before. And, this is her time to have longevity with the belt. She could lose it at Mania. I would like to see her hold it and retain it at Mania, and then you could probably take it off her. Just give her that WrestleMania win.
Yeah, exactly. I can see it, but Sasha
Because
gonna
Charlotte
overcome
got
it.
hers, Becky got hers, Bailey got hers. Sasha's the only one out of the four horsewomen that didn't get hers. As far as a championship match,
Yeah, I get where you're
singles
coming from.
championship, I should say.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. Next we have the Fiend versus Randy Orton. Uh,
This might be the funnest match, to be honest. Maybe the funnest match.
yeah, it's
Second
gonna
or
be
third.
like Randy Orton has been gold all 2020. Uh, Randy Orton might be honestly my wrestler of 2020, but yeah, this is gonna be a fun match. Randy Orton's been gold. Uh, it benefits Bray Wyatt, who needs to be in a brawler, slow, methodic type match. So, whatever the stipulation is going to work. Uh, but I think the Fiend goes over. We literally saw the nigga come out of a freaking box of flames. He's going over.
Yeah. You saw what happened last time Randy put somebody in a box.
All right, Daytra don't care.
Oh no, my bad. I'm watching Steph Curry highlights because that nigga torching that motherfucker.
Yeah,
boy.
gee, I'm watching it, nigga. That's all I'm like, damn, this nigga
You torching
lining
that
their ass
motherfucker.
up. I'm watching the game. Shoot.
My man, bro. I also don't care about Randy Orton and the Fiend. So it seems like Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt feud once a year, every year. So.
I think it was even brought up. I think Randy honestly brought it up on Raw. And the way he said it, I was like, yeah, we go at it, man. It be that way. So then we have Drew McIntyre versus AJ in a TLC match. I don't think I've ever seen Drew McIntyre climb a ladder.
If they do the TLC with pins, you know what I'm saying?
It's they on Raw. They at the Raw ended with them putting the belt on top of the little station thingy, the little hook. So it's climb the ladder. So, but
do you think Sheamus interferes?
I think it's gonna be a couple interferences.
It's gonna be a few.
The Miz and Morrison's gonna be there.
Yeah,
Sheamus is gonna try to make up for Bro kicking him.
It's
in that
no
tag match
reason to take the belt off Drew, but this is like too obvious of a match for the Miz to just jump in. Like honestly, it's too obvious. It's like, yeah, it's a TLC match. I could just jump in. I could just cash in and just climb the ladder. It would be hilarious, but I don't, it's too easy. It's too easy, at least for me to say that's how Miz cashes in. Miz cashes in. So I think Drew goes over, but I think Sheamus, if Sheamus gets involved and it's going to be on the next night on Raw, because Sheamus got his ass whooped and Drew McIntyre didn't come out. He'd be like, fella, you ain't help a fella be a fella. Ooh. Prayers to Chris Clemens of the Rockets, torn right Achilles. But
damn.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, no, nasty. But Drew's going over, and I think we get Drew versus Sheamus going into Rumble. It just makes sense at this point. They've been teasing it too long, and plus it's a good way to see fellas and mates just sit there. The fella versus mate match. So, you guys, y'all predictions?
Yeah, I don't know. Miz got to cash in soon before Mania, right?
Yes.
Kind of got to happen. I don't see Miz main eventing Mania whatsoever.
Hell no.
But it kind of got to happen. If he don't cash in at Mania, then he definitely cashing in the night after Mania.
Mm-hmm.
I do think Miz wears that belt a second time. Because whoever he feuds with, it could be John Morrison, it could be whoever. Whoever gonna get off that, Miz is gonna put them over on the mic because Miz is good like that. It's gonna be a good feud. Whoever wins is gonna have a lot of hype going around. Do Miz cash in at TLC? I don't know. I don't think you want to take that belt off Drew, even though he went a Gothic kilt. I didn't even know that existed. Don't want to take the belt off him. Sheamus looking like a good Rumble feud until Mania. So that can happen. They're doing this whole friendship thing, and Sheamus dressed like a freaking pub brawler, so I already know he's going to turn heel.
Like, he can only be faced for so long. Like, he was a pub brawler for most of SmackDown. He can't be a pub brawler that's nice.
So, I do see Drew retaining. But AJ with that belt around him is never a bad idea.
Exactly. It hits. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing.
I'm glad it's not as predictable as it usually is.
Yeah, I think Drew goes over. I just think it's going to be a lot of shenanigans. I think the Miz, they do like a fake, I'm going to cash in. Sheamus gets involved to stop them in that kind of way. And then probably AJ's manager gets involved somehow and probably slams somebody off the top of the ladder into a table or some shit like that. You know, it helps Drew capitalize in some way or another. You know, he keeps his belt. I think they'll probably, if not teased that same night, is definitely like Chris said. I think it will be teased that following the Monday where Sheamus and Drew get ready for the Rumble probably.
Just it makes sense.
Also got an interesting question about AJ because he's in an interesting spot right now. Like he's not in a bad spot. He's like in between everything right now. Like he's still, he's a main eventer, but they don't need to put the belt on. He doesn't need the belt.
Yeah, he's bigger than the belt.
He's good.
Like he's one of the bigger than the belt.
He's bigger than the belt right now. So my question is, what kind of match do you set him up for Mania this year?
It's too early to tell. It's still too early to tell. Like after the Rumble, you kind of get better image of that for people like him. So it's too early to really tell. Like for all I know, he fights Keith Lee for all I know, but that's too early to tell. So, next, Roman versus Kevin Owens. I'm already calling this match of the night. Somebody who could finally talk shit back to Roman Reigns is gonna be fun. As much as I like both of these guys, Roman Reigns is that nigga, and he's going to probably beat the living shit out of Kevin Owens. He'll choke that man out, but it's gonna be a hell of a fight. It's really gonna be a hell of a fight, and this is also a TLC match. I don't know if this is the pinning type, but I got Roman winning this easily. Like that belt's not coming off Roman no time soon.
Yeah, Roman got it.
Yeah, so
this is his time. It's his show. This, as he would probably say, this is his world. We just living in it right now.
Exactly. So
I also think he's gonna beat his cousin again.
Gee, it's gonna be
he's going to beat Jay for whatever reason. He's just going to beat him.
Bro,
like that nigga Jay, like, bro, get your ass in this ring and help me, man. It's a TLC.
I think Jay has taken the most chair shots this year too.
That's unfortunate, so.
And that was literally in a 2-month span.
He like that sometimes.
Yep, it do. But I think that's it for wrestling. Nothing fun or interesting happened on AEW besides Sting, and we recorded late last week. So
Impact stuff. Impact. I think it was tonight. Kenny Omega is back with the Good Brothers, such and such. That's Anlos. That's Anderson, Carl Anderson, and Gallows.
Yep.
So they're still doing the Impact AEW thing, and keep it those two shows intertwined. Perfect scenario. That could be AEW's second show, so you can have more people get over instead of the same WWE guys.
Yep.
And
but even right now, that's 2 former WWE niggas he's associated with.
Yeah, but they you really don't count them.
Yeah.
Because they made and still made their bigger name off Bullet Club in Japan. Especially Carl Anderson. Like Gallows, yeah, he's been everywhere. But Carl Anderson, that Japan life or something, even before Gallows.
Mm-hmm. People forget Luke Gallows was, remember Festus? That was him.
Yeah, if you don't
also
know, you should know.
Part of the Straight Edge Society.
That too.
But it should be cool for them. I'm not a big AEW watcher, so I have zero. It's neither here nor there with me. Like I literally have zero care for it, but not in a bad way. It's just like I don't really watch AEW. I try to keep up with it because it's popular.
Something else did happen. Mrs. Brandy Rose threw water at Shaq for some odd reason.
So back to things that was important when they did. Yeah, it should be good. I like that. Honestly, it give Impact more Shaq. Impact, I don't want to call it solid because that'll be me lying as if I actually watch it because I don't. But I do enjoy them doing this little merger type thing. It's pretty nice AEW to try to let Impact some viewers, even if it is only like 300,000. So who the hell has access TV? But yeah,
all right.
That's it for wrestling.
All right, cool. Yep, that's it for wrestling. Let's go ahead and get into hooping, that basketball talk. So we're gonna do our Western Conference preview, and we got Giannis to talk about. But I'd rather kind of hit James. No, let's talk Giannis first. Let's go. Let's do Giannis first. So
that's the big news.
Yeah, that is the biggest of news. And Giannis talk can lead to James Harden talk. So Giannis has signed his Supermax, right? And he still had a week before the deadline. But Giannis has signed his 5-year, $225 million extension. And technically the contract worth as a whole is technically 6 years, $256 million because you factor in this year as well. So Giannis is pretty much has cemented himself as a young black man that's doing all that he can, and he's a young black man that's rich. And he's going to have $50 million in his bank account at the age of 31.
Amazing. I knew he was gonna resign. I knew it. I had the feeling.
What I don't want to hear is,
oh, my fault. Just killing something out. Go ahead.
I'm all like, damn, Chris about to call me on my bullshit. But I had a feeling that like, yo, he gonna stay because the chess moves. Where would he go that somebody not giving up their whole entire team?
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, max contracts is a detriment to a team more than they think they are. It's always going to be in the player's ball court.
Mm-hmm.
Put shit on paper when I say this. Max contracts is always going to be in the player's ball court. Because at any time, a player can say, I want out. And now he has the chips in his hand. Look at Harden in Houston. No matter how good Houston Rockets is, there will always be that feeling of Harden don't want to be there. In front office, within the media, within the team, it will always be that feeling. Especially that thing coming out of saying, even with John Wall, his conscience is still the same if he don't want to play it. So, with all that, Giannis can literally take this money, which is completely fucking guaranteed, and in the middle of next year, say, this is not a winning culture. It is toxic for my health. I want out.
Which is evil as hell. Extremely evil. Oh, by the way.
Yo, who didn't do it?
Well, nobody's done it. Wait, in their first year?
Not in their first year. Within 2, I should say. Westbrook did it within 2.
Nobody's ever done it within the first 2.
Westbrook gone.
Oh, well, Westbrook was a weird situation because I think he knew, at least in his original mind, he thought OKC was ready to, rebuild.
Yeah, the Westbrook and OKC situation is a little different because they came to a mutual agreement before.
Yeah, they legit said, "Hey, we want to rebuild. Where do you want to go?"
Once he knew they were getting rid of Paul George, he was like, "Okay, let's talk about this."
Yeah, that's different. That was more like, we want to rebuild. We know you want to compete. Where do you want to
go? What else? I'm trying to think what else. But like every max contract guy, the only people that staying so far is that been had their contracts, right? Right. Bron, he ain't really gonna go nowhere. Steph, that whole city is built around him at this point. That's it. I was thinking of one more person, but
it's Dame at this point.
Dame.
Dame just don't
get Dame, I think Dame is the lowest paid out of all the max players.
No, he's one of the highest paid of the max players.
No, I just looked at the top 10. Tobias Harris is paid more than him.
Jesus Christ, man. Why is
yeah, hold on.
Oh. That was to Tobias Harris, but damn.
Yo, Daryl Morey.
There is a list that has been going around of all the top paid players in the league.
What?
Hang on about the cap. Highest value NBA contract. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Klay Thompson, Tobias Harris, Chris Middleton, Ben Simmons, Paul George, Damian Lillard.
I could have sworn Dame was at 200.
Now he's at 176 million. And
Tobias Harris was at 200.
And Tobias Harris is at 180.
Bro, I could have sworn Dane was at 200.
It's probably at 176 now because the year it's been like a year or two, right?
Because
I
he
think it
just
was
signed his.
oh, okay. I think it's probably was
Like,
valued when he signed the extension. It was valued at 200 million. Then the max itself was just 176. That's probably what happened. Because I'm like,
Yeah, and that's why it's like Dame is the lowest paid out of all nice players, bro.
and it's like of the names you mentioned, the people who outright just don't deserve max is Chris Middleton and Tobias Harris.
Paul George. But we're going to get to that when we can.
I forgot about Paul George's contract. We got to talk about that bullshit.
That shit just got bigger, too. These niggas wild, bro.
Yeah, we got to talk about that right after this, honestly. But we'll talk about Paul George when we talk about the Clippers.
But yeah, I'm happy. It's great. I'm not with that Paul Pierce bullshit he said on the jump about he got that old school mentality. This ain't no fucking old school mentality. Okay. Old school people didn't move around because they couldn't.
They couldn't. It wasn't. Yeah. It was like, G.
You saw what happened to Scottie Pippen, G.
G, niggas took money because they couldn't. They needed money. Scottie, literally, if the owner, Jerry Reinsdorf, who's very cheap, by the way, literally tells you, bro, I'm not changing how much money this is. You can get more. Try to get more money. And Scottie was like, no, I'm going to take my chances. Then, bro, G, come on, man, G.
Michael Jordan wasn't even the highest paid player. He didn't even have the highest max contract in the league when he was when he was on his second contract run with the Bulls.
It wasn't until the last 3P where Mike was getting like 20, 30 million a year.
But yeah,
and even still, like, what the hell?
There was no loyalty. Like, no. The players could have moved around and what the fuck have.
Exactly.
I'm glad we brought this up too because this really debunks the whole thing. It's like there's no such thing as loyalty in this league. It's not really supposed to be technically. You're in the business. You're in business for yourself.
Exactly. It's like
right. They can't get rid of you could be the best player in the league. If they decide one day we don't want you anymore, we want such and such. He might not be better than you, but if they want him, they're gonna go get him.
Bro. Clay, you talk about loyalty. You think the Golden State is loyal to the Splash Bros, or you think Golden State loyal to Larry O'Brien?
Bro, that nigga Bill Myers is looking every way possible. Bill, whatever the hell his name is, Bob Myers is looking for ways to get rid of Clay's contract. And no offense to Clay, we love you on this podcast. We hope to have you on here one day. But bro, Clay's contract is probably the worst valued contract in the NBA right now. And it's because he literally has two of the worst injuries you can have as a hooper.
Yeah, so it's like, and if, like, going back to Daytrail's point, they gave them that money because they got them chips. Let them have lost.
Oh, even if they got the chips, all I'm trying to say is that Larry O'Brien is more. It's the Larry O'Brien, right?
Yeah.
Because the Super Bowl is the what is it? Bill Lombardi or some shit like that.
Yeah, Bill Lombardi. Yeah.
All right, the Larry O'Brien. That Larry O'Brien is more important than Klay Thompson for them.
It is.
That's why they so happily left upon that first pick. I mean, third, whatever they had. That's why they gave Steph all that money. That's why they is still trying to move pieces in order to attract another star. Trust me, you're going to see a lot of Kelly Oubre and goddamn Andrew Wiggins in that offense. Because I'm pretty sure their goal is to try to move them for somebody else. Yeah. Like a James Harden. And I'm telling you right now, if Klay wasn't paid $90 million, he will not be a Golden State Warrior right now.
Hey, I'm sorry, G. Steph just did some shit.
He was supposed to be in the Lakers.
Yo, Steph just did some shit. The way he just split this defense, G, was just nasty, bro. It was nasty, bro. Hold on. I'm about to. he literally split the defense with a behind the back. I think he accidentally passed it to the teammate, and then he passed it right back to him and got the layup, bro. Yo, man, look, Steph about to be fun to watch. I still hate that nigga, but bro, that was beautiful.
Well, Steph is in effect, man.
That was beautiful, G.
Yeah, look, I absolutely love Steph Curry and how he plays the game. He personally, I really wanted to pick him on my league team. I'm trying to say this without lying because I didn't, have any other choices. But I don't believe in the preseason hype. I'm letting that be known. I don't believe it. And also, that's the Sacramento Kings defense. That shit is ass. But shout out to Steph Curry for being what he is and who he is. I just saw that shit too, and I'll probably want to tell the coach to call a timeout so I can sit the fuck down because I'm not going to deal with that in a fucking preseason game. But yeah, I'd like Clay. So this loyalty thing is not a thing. And Giannis felt like I do believe Giannis wants to be a player that's immortalized like Kareem to say, and that nigga Oscar Robertson, but more of Kareem. Because Oscar Robertson wasn't winning shit till that tall didn't get in there. But to say, I brought a chip to Milwaukee. And then, in all honesty, he get one more star that's slightly good or better than fucking Chris Middleton. And he could say, I brought a title to Milwaukee partly by my fucking self. He literally needs one other fucking player that's not as good as him, but better than fucking Chris Middleton.
Wait.
That's what I'm saying. Not as good as him, but better than Chris Middleton. He needs like a Bradley Beal. Not as good as Greek Freak, fucking better than Chris Middleton. Don't need a James Harden because James Harden is as good as Greek Freak. But he can do it. Even though Greek Freak said, I could be a number 2 or 3 type guy, that shit not happening. I wouldn't even, if I'm the coach, nigga, you're not my number 2. Nigga, is Bron standing next to you? Is AD standing next to you? Is KD standing next to you? Is Steph Curry standing next to you? No? All right, you number 1.
I have no choice.
And I want to see him do it. Are we going to laugh at the first and second round exits? Yes. But when Greek Freak wins the title, and I'm sorry, he is going to win the title eventually, it's going to be good to see. He can be a Dirk Nowitzki when the fucking planets just align right.
When his December 21st happened?
Oh, damn. Griffey really going to be fucking...
Bro, the league's going to turn into real life NBA Jam December 21st. Over with.
You talking about the league going to be coming in like NBA Jam. That nigga Griffey, boy...
Zion really finna be a whole monster.
Zion gonna be a monster. Greek Freak gonna be goddamn Century for Marvel. A fucking god on us. That nigga, boy, shit.
All he has to literally do is step on the court, bucket.
Hey, look, if Giannis is Century, then hey, who LeBron then? Shit. Yeah, fact there, who LeBron then? But. All valid points. Like I want to see Giannis win. Hey, he got to be that overpowered Superman though. But anyway, back to but Giannis, I'm happy for him. I'm happy that I'm happy in the sense like okay, I'm not gonna sit and say I'm happy he ain't gonna sit there and chase a chip because at the end of the day, everybody wants a championship. I won't say everybody, but there's multiple players who have a desire to win.
Wants to win.
Yeah, we know he wants to win, and he wants to win his way. And I respect that a lot. And the fact that he said, I want to do it here in Milwaukee, I respect it even more. Because winning in a small small market kind of elevates those championships. Like, even if you just win that one, it's like, well, at the end of the day, like, hey, it's like Dirk's won, especially depending on who it's against. It's like, oh, shit. Well, Dirk did it against Bron while on the way he swept Kobe.
Yep.
So, like, it elevates it, especially if their journey is crazy. And now, will I sit and say, like, does Giannis have a team where he can do that this year? he's gonna have to play out his goddamn mind all playoffs because I just don't believe in Chris Middleton being your number 2. But if he like Detra said, if he was to get a Giannis, even though I think I'm throwing Harden out there because like at the end of the day, Harden's the greatest scorer ever. At least right now, not ever, but right now he's one of the greatest scorers. With Giannis, it's like, my God, that's a cheat code. But if you can just get somebody who can be like that legit at number 2, or somebody who's just as equally as good as him, it's like, yo, in the East, rest in peace. There's nothing you can do. And then niggas have no place to really hide no more because niggas is leaving the West because Bron and AD there, and you can't really go East because now you got Giannis and insert a great teammate. So
it's either you become a role player for one of them teams, or you become.
It's either you better sit there and be a fucking competitor. Ain't no running.
You don't have no choice.
Exactly. It's called be a damn competitor, G. So
it's gonna make the league better. It makes the league better.
And this also does make the league better because once again, your stars are spread out across the league, which is a good thing. And I mean actual stars. I'm not sitting there talking about goddamn Mookie, goddamn Blaylock on the goddamn Hawks being considered a star. No, we're talking about actual goddamn all-star level caliber players, G. So you know what I mean. So it's a good thing for the league. I'm happy for Giannis. I'm happy. His story is really interesting in itself because later he was struggling in life in Greece as a young black male, and now he's one of the richest niggas to ever come from Greece since Alexander the Great. So shout out to that nigga.
It's gonna be or should really be considered now the highest paid international player ever.
Yeah. Yeah, he is easily until Luka gets that young $50 million a year from my boy Mark Cuban.
Yeah, Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban just gave that nigga, what's his name, Jay Burrell, like $2 million, then fucking waived him.
Exactly. It was like, hey, thanks.
Like,
you was part of that 2011 team. So
you probably gonna get that nigga a front office job too. So
exactly. Like Mark Cuban's backing up the Brinks truck for Luka, my nigga. Especially
they might not make the playoffs either. But that's good.
Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about James Harden. James Harden has finally arrived at camp as of, I think, what was it, Sunday? He finally arrived at camp after being a groupie. And I will play this clip because it's pretty mandatory to play this clip. But Harden finally has arrived at camp. He has completed the COVID protocols. So he played today in the preseason game. So he's cleared to play. The funny thing with Harden is, G, just in the workout video that they showed on ESPN yesterday, the nigga looked in shape. And then next thing you know, you see that nigga in warm-ups, he's fat. So he's like and women, please forgive me, and please don't get offended with what I'm about to say. He's like a woman who's on her period. She gets a little bloated. And I know that's fucked up to say, but it's a true thing. Because women always say, I feel bloated. That's Harden when he wears warm-ups. The nigga just look fat at the most random of times. And it's no shade, because, hey, look, man, it be that way. Now, I may get canceled, but canceled is good. What you said, Tyler?
I say he's still going to drop 30 regardless.
Exactly. Like, G, Harden was never a nigga that had a damn six-pack. That nigga looking like goddamn Gucci, man, and still giving niggas 30. So it's like
hilarious that they said that picture got Rick Ross trending on Twitter though. That's hilarious.
But yeah, so Rick Ross is James Harden's finally in camp. But it didn't come without no controversy. So of course I'm gonna play this clip that Steven Jackson stated on his IG. So I'm gonna go ahead and play that right now.
What I don't want to hear is James Harden did not like the owner of the team. The owner was on bullshit. Newsflash. All owners are on bullshit. Okay? All owners on bullshit. And how the owner on bullshit, James? He been paying you all this money and y'all ain't won shit. So he ain't on bullshit. He just want what he paying for. And that's some championships, some wins. I don't want to hear nothing about he don't like the owner, he don't like the man, damn all that. He ain't gonna run no organization, regardless what organization he would go to. Every owner's gonna be on bullshit. Every team he go to, the owner gonna be on bullshit.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me, bro. I don't know. But you niggas is weird. One, to me, it's just simple. James Harden don't want to be held accountable. D'Antoni is the worst defensive coach in NBA history. Ain't gonna win shit. Ain't won shit as the head coach. And he easy to run over. So James is trying to continue to be around close to D'Antoni so he can't be held accountable. And then again, what type of dude is you? The Rockets finally get a young black coach. A young black coach get an opportunity, and you don't want to show up to camp. You don't want to play for him. How that look? And you wonder why every time a black coach get a job, they put him in a bullshit situation. Look what you doing. What a real one would do is go play for that black coach and make him look good and build with John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins, some real ones. But obviously you want to chase rappers around.
All right. Shots fired. Still the funniest thing I got out of that was James Harden is a rapper groupie. There's no lies told in regards to that because the nigga really did went to Lil Baby's birthday party where it was a super spreader joint. And you went to both parties, the one in Atlanta and Vegas. That's some groupie ass shit. That's some groupie ass shit, G. I'm sorry. Like,
Send that nigga to the Hawks. You want to be with that man so much? Send him to the Hawks.
Exactly.
That nigga a Prada bag because he was proud of him. That's sus.
It's very sus. I'm not buying no man no purse, G.
I'm not buying no man more than one honey bun. You bought 40 of them bitches. That's you smiling in the back, watching him look at honey bun. And then you bought him a watch. Nigga, you spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on this man. That is a man. Not your brother. Not your blood. A man. Hey, look, if that's your walk of life, us at Threes in the Ring, we don't care. Love who you love. But you a groupie. You just gotta accept it. You're a groupie with a lot of money. You are a wealthy groupie. It's alright, you know, a little sus. A little bit on the side. It's okay.
Well, yeah, like Daytra says, it's very extreme. Like, literally, like me and Daytra is the bestest of friends. Now, I did buy Daytra a controller, but that was because it was his birthday, and I was hurting hearing him deal with controller drift. But that was me being a great friend. Daytra went out his way to freaking find a way to get me a Big Baller Brand t-shirt. I respect
It's very hard to do.
Exactly. So literally, and it's just like, hey, it's because we're homies, we're best friends. I wouldn't be mad.
Niggas. Lil Baby just became a rapper.
Lil Baby's probably no older than Daytra, and so it's like, gee, what you think about that? James Harden's almost 30.
No,
Like,
James Harden is 30. James Harden
he is
32.
30. So literally, like, bro, no, like I don't care. No. It's weird. So that is some rapper groupie shit. It really is. Like, now if he was doing this for a stripper, hey, simp sometimes, my nigga. But this is another grown ass man that he's kind of really did the most for. And
Did we find the title for the show? James Harden is a groupie?
Gee, I'm tired of naming episodes after James Harden, bro. I'm tired of it at this point. Like, I think he's getting close to the most titles named after him. So, and plus I would like to have James Harden on the episode one day, so I don't want to burn too many bridges. But point is, Steven Jackson had made a lot of valid points about just Harden and just kind of being a goofy and a lame in regards to how he's handling the situation. He's handling it very poorly. He's not really looking out for Steven Silas, a black man who really who lucked into a really good coaching gig, because clearly the Rockets is not trying to rebuild as hard as they think they are and all of that. So, and even then, like, I know still preseason, John Wall looks really freaking good. He's still not it's not prime Wizards John Wall, but he still looks like John Wall. Like you can tell he actually took his rehab and all that very freaking serious. And plus, John Wall is a freaking point guard. Point guard. Like yeah, he's athletic and can boom niggas, but he wants to make his teammates better, and that's going to benefit Harden even more. Because for one, you don't got to freaking ball dominate and all of that. And so it's just like, gee, and John Wall play off ball better than Westbrook can, I believe. But
A lot better.
so it's like, gee, you still in a good position, and even no matter if, and the only way like you could push to Brooklyn, but it's like, gee, I just don't believe it's not gonna work there, gee, as what people think it is. And then Philly, I think, is your best case scenario because you could still be you there. In the perfect world, literally, if I'm the Bucks, I'm calling Rockets about James Harden. In a perfect world, but I don't think that's gonna happen. But like, even if you could still be at the West and still be the best, you're still the best shooting guard in the league. Like, gee, like if anything, like if you could do it with this team,
What do Luka classify as?
yeah, you right.
Shooting guard.
Yeah.
And Luka probably win an MVP this season too. Maybe if they can make the playoffs. I don't know. He got some competition. I ain't gonna say Luka the best yet, but
yeah,
he almost won the playoffs.
At this point, James Harden is still technically the best shooting guard in the league, but Luka is on a well-paced track because technically his position is shooting guard, even though that nigga plays point guard technically
and small forward.
So Luka plays multiple goddamn positions. But point in all of this is just this: James Harden, you just handled it really goofy. And if you was just look at the broader picture, it'd be like, I can really like this the Rockets really look like, even though it's against the Bulls and like that Bulls team still trying to figure out, and Billy Donovan's still trying to figure out who's gonna be what on that team. Without James Harden, they still was very competitive. They looked good. Boogie actually looks really good and healthy. John Wall looks really good and healthy. I haven't seen PJ Tucker, but he's bitching about, well, no, if somebody who has the right to be mad is PJ Tucker. Like I think the fact he's playing off non-guaranteed contract, I'll be triggered too. Give me my money. So I understand PJ Tucker's anger above anybody else.
I don't ship that man to Beijing. All he do is select the West shoes anyway. That man, I'll be able to lock up AD. Fucked. Okay.
No such thing. Look, man, it's something this league's gonna be prepared for.
That was your whole purpose in that series. And then when you switched on Bron was like he turned the clock 10 years on you. Daniel House is going to eventually steal his job. So I wouldn't even, if I'm the Rockets, I wouldn't even care. Man.
So, but even then, like I said, the Rockets is still going to be a competitive team. If Harden is super motivated and gives a damn, at the very best they can be a 4th seed. But I'm not putting them there. I'm believing too much in that team. But that's too much.
That team is like a fucking lottery team, boy.
With Harden, you're not
one injury away from a lottery team.
Okay, yeah. See, that's different. Now you see, there we go. Injury away, but regardless, they're going to be in that 7-6-5 talk, regardless. But it's a respectable team, and I think Steven Sides actually looks like he knows what the hell the offensive scheme is. Besides ISO James Harden for like 20 seconds, and pass the ball. It looks like a system's being played. So give it a chance, my brother. Like, yes, it's in the perfect world. Does James Harden deserve to be in that conversation of like, hey, he just needs a ring to solidify him? Definitely. But guess what? This is the NBA. There's a lot of all-time greats, that don't have championships. Plenty. Like, you have an MVP to legitimize you. You at least have a couple, they're in the negative light, negative playoff moments. You could be Dominique Wilkins. You could easily be Dominique Wilkins. Just known for literally just, simply just being known to blow it in the playoffs. But at the same time, Dominique has the excuse to say, I had to see Larry Bird, the Pistons, and baby Michael Jordan. James Harden still has the same excuse, but at least he has MVPs and scoring titles to say, hey, I did all I can do. But trying to force a move to Brooklyn is not going to be it. I understand why you want to go East. It sounds easier. But the top of the East is still beastly because that second round is not going to be no joke. Yeah, it's going to be fun to knock out the Bulls, Wizards, Pacers. Yeah, that's fun. That's easy. But in that second round, you're still going to see the Celtics. You're going to see the Bucks. You're going to see the Nets on whatever team that you decide to be on. Or Philly. Whatever team. That second round ain't going to be no joke. And if you make it past that second round, that third round ain't going to be no joke. It's not going to be an easy ride in the East.
And then you do all that just to run into a fucking Lakers squad that's the best team in the league right now.
Exactly. For what? Just to hold the L. So.
And let's remember, the Rockets do not have to trade you right now. They got rid of one of their next players.
They literally have you for 3 years. 2 if you decide to opt out, but I think you're touching a lot of money. I'm not about to literally take that risk, especially because, for one, you're 33 at the end of this contract. So it's like, nah. And so with Harden, look, bro, just love yourself, bro. Love yourself. Now, maybe if you could unless Miami just say fuck it. Hey. But I don't even think Miami's gonna say fuck it. I don't think so.
They listed that man. I think either Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson as untouchable. So that's how serious they are. They might be right
now. For a former MVP, them crackers should not be untouchable shit. And that's just me keeping the G real.
Street saying.
Because you gotta factor in this with Miami. Giannis is gone. Giannis is gone. So, even for the Raptors kind of hold the L too. Giannis is gone. Now, your best bet is hoping that Kawhi is saying...
I was just about to say, you have a sliver of hope there with Kawhi.
LA's nice, but we not winning here. And LeBron and AD, for some reason, keeps getting better. I can't guard that, man. I'm getting older. My quads is on fire. Do I go back down to the 6 and be a king over there? I could do that. They love me over there.
Yeah.
I agree. Or I could go to Miami, South Beach, hit up Dr. Miami. He might be able to give me some new quads. You never know. Play and just enjoy the palm trees and good water. LeBron told me about the palm trees and good water. You said what?
You ain't going to Miami.
Yeah, I
know. Let me go be a Chicago Bull before you in Miami.
That sounds like a very Chicago Bull ass move. It'll probably get the city going. They're like, oh man, we got, as Doc Rivers once said,
he probably get somebody to come with him.
Why? His boy Paul George gone. It literally. Somebody said that somebody said the next free agency class just came ass out of nowhere.
It is. The free agency class is
literally Giannis said, "Hey, man, I'm taking the bag." It's literally Kawhi. It's the hot commodity again. Oh man, but
whenever Portland figures out that it's just not gonna work with just Dame.
Dame is too loyal to a fault. That's the problem with Dame. He's too damn loyal. So that's whatever in itself. But I think that's it for that. So let's go ahead and do our Western Conference preview. So a lot to talk about in terms of the Western Conference. The deepest conference, of course, in terms of teams and talent. A lot of teams who could potentially do it. So I think the best way to go at this is pretty much going at each team at a time. Unlike last week, because literally we know what goes on in the East. It's the East. So let's go ahead. The team I think that's gonna have the worst record in this conference is probably either gonna be the Kings or the Timberwolves again. So Timberwolves, I think is gonna have the worst record. And it's not by like they're gonna be the worst team in the league, worst record. Cat and D'Lo's gonna be competitive. I just don't see them being good enough to beat a lot of teams because the others ain't shit, and I don't think Cat. Now, and no shade towards Cat, because Cat literally is probably gonna go through it most of this year, literally. So I'm not gonna be too hard on Cat, but I think Cat gonna realize playing with your best friend, choosing D'Lo to be the best friend to play with ain't it. And it's gonna be one step closer to Cat just saying, "I'm one out." So this is gonna be the first step, especially at the worst record. So, any other thoughts on the Timberwolves?
I think they can make it, but given my thinking about it again, they probably don't. The West is so fucking stacked. Bro.
It's stacked as hell.
You know, it's always like this, but godly. Because you want to put the Warriors in, you know, I don't think the Warriors get in. You want to put teams like the Timberwolves in. The Spurs is young, even though the Spurs probably ain't gonna go in. You got Phoenix that you want, but probably fail too. Blazers always, you know, talking, but you know, there's a chance not happening. And you also got a good rookie in what's that nigga name? Giles. Is it Giles?
Are you talking about the Timberwolves?
No, the Blazers. They got Jason Tatum thought he was a better player than him. Jason Tatum thought that Giles nigga was a better player than him.
Harry Giles?
Yes.
He's not a rookie. He's been in the league for like 3 years now.
Oh, well, he getting. Only reason I thought he was a rookie was because he getting fucking whatchamacallit. But Jason thought he was a better player. So he's good. I don't see him fucking playing that much, but he's good. What else? I don't know. I just don't. The Timberwolves got a lot. That 8th seed is going to be fucking war. So thank God for that play-in tournament.
Play-in tournament is going to
That's going to be must-see TV.
Must-see. That 8th seed, you're
fighting. Fucking Sacramento versus Memphis Grizzlies or some shit like that. They don't want to shoot myself.
Yeah, I'm good on saying that because I forgot the Grizzlies is not really going to be in that conversation either this year. They definitely not. Once again, the West is too damn good, and I think Ja Morant fans is gonna get their feelings hurt. But
I think Zion fans getting their feelings hurt too.
It's a possibility. Even though that Nick, like I gotta watch that preseason game they played because like I just want to see how he scored his buckets. I want to see specifically him.
Bro, they trapped him like they trapped Giannis.
Ugh.
I saw some of it. They trapped that nigga like they trapped Giannis.
Hey.
And the detriment of that team is going to be the fact that you gave Brandon Ingram that money and you're eventually going to have to let him go for that big ass nigga to be the main player on that team. So, it is what it is.
The Kings. Kings, I don't know, man. I don't know. And it's not because I like a lot of their players. I like De'Aaron Fox. I like Marvin Bagley. Buddy Hield's really good, but Buddy Hield wants to leave Sacramento immediately. They have somebody else on their team I like. I don't like Harrison Barnes, but Harrison Barnes is at his best when he's he's a great player on an ass team. So he fits the Kings. He's literally the ideal king. It's just Luke Walton is the coach. And as long as Luke Walton is that coach, I don't believe they're going to be a great team. Like, they're not going to be in the play-in tournament talk at all. I strongly believe that. I believe the Timberwolves have a better chance. And then with the Kings, their main thing is also going to be health. Can Marvin Bagley play more than 5 games in a row? Because I have yet to see that at all. And I want Bagley to prosper, but I need, play more than 5 games in a row, bro. De'Aaron Fox, just continue to be better, but you got to max now. You got to play up to that level. But Luke Walton's that team's coach, and I just think he's a very piss poor coach. Very piss poor. So shout out to Alvin Gentry getting that job. I hope Alvin Gentry gets that job soon because he's the assistant head coach. He's the assistant, so I'm hoping he steals that man's job. Look, man,
what's the fucking difference?
Alvin Gentry at least knows how to coach.
I don't know. That nigga had Anthony Davis on that team before, bro.
Look, man. Yeah, Anthony Davis as the only offensive player on that team, G. What you wanted that man to do? What you wanted him to do?
He did what he could do. He drove him to the eighth seed.
Exactly. That's all he could do. He did the best he could with what he could do. But and Alvin Gentry did the best he could do as well. Boogie, and then just the unfortunate thing is Boogie's Achilles imploded. That's literally the cause and effect of everything. If Boogie's Achilles never imploded, it's the biggest what if for the Pelicans keeping Anthony Davis. But yeah, so Alvin Gentry's is the biggest move the Kings gonna make is Alvin Gentry becoming the interim head coach eventually. Let's go ahead and talk about the Grizzlies. Shout out to that reality check they're gonna have. Ja Morant's still gonna have a really great season. He's gonna force himself to average a double-double this year. It's gonna be very Westbrook-like. It's just niggas gonna be so amazed by the dunks that they're not gonna bitch and complain about it. Because who else is on that team? I'll take this back. If Jaren Jackson stays healthy for the whole season, they'll be in the play-in tournament talk. If not, Ja Morant is about to force himself to average 20 and 10. Force it. Nothing else?
Yeah, I mean, they could. I think at best, the playoff tournament is where they'll be at. And they probably still won't. I just think the West is going to be overly competitive, and it's not. That AC is going to be packed to hell.
Look, I personally like Ja Morant, but I only know two players on that Memphis Grizzlies team. That's Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson.
The fact that I know more players on that team than you.
Nigga, okay, name the whole 14-man roster.
I'm not about to name the whole 14-man roster, but Dillon Brooks, Ja Morant, Juntis Winslow, Jaren Jackson, Dillon Brooks, Brandon Clark. That's 6, so that's a rotation.
Make the playoffs.
They're not making the playoffs, man.
They're not making the playoffs.
Them niggas can't even win a bubble seeding game. They got their ass torched.
Gee, they couldn't win not one. They only won one game, and the one game was to ensure that they get into the playing game. They wasted people's time. Gee, they was a waste of time. Gee, Ja Morant could have went home sooner. Gee, and he said, "No, I don't want to go home." You freaking dumbass. But but yeah, so no love for the Memphis Grizzlies. Let's go ahead. The Pelicans. No, Spurs. Let's do the Spurs first because the Pelicans I know we might spend a bit of time.
Same thing that we said about the Memphis Grizzlies. But Pop is the head coach, so it's not as bad. And DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge is a combo we still have yet to see, do something. That team is literally in the middle ground. And I don't see them making the playoffs either.
Me neither. The only reason, and once again, they will be in the play-in tournament range because Pop is the coach. Solely because Pop is the coach, I'm giving them that. But other than that, I'm not putting too much stock on them unless. I can't even say if DeRozan has a bounce back year. It's going to fall on DeJounte Murray going to the next level because niggas is high on DeJounte Murray. I like DeJounte Murray. He always locks me up on 2K for some odd reason. But I like Murray. But unless DeJounte Murray becomes Tony Parker 2.0 without fucking his teammates' wives, then, hey. But I don't see that happening yet. But they'll be in games. They're gonna have some competitive games because Pop is the coach. DeRozan ain't no bitch, and LaMarcus Aldridge continues to exist. So
Yeah, I agree.
Spurs are just in a weird spot as a franchise. Like they're not terrible, but they're not nowhere near as good as they used to be. And it's like Pop's time is just dwindling down.
How has the San Antonio Spurs been for the last?
The man has made the Spurs have a decade and a half of excellence. 2 decades of excellence.
Yeah, you can't ask for nothing better than that.
Is it really 2 decades of excellence, or is it really 2 decades of I'm here?
Yeah, okay.
I would say more like a good 15 years, of excellence, and maybe like 5 years worth of. Okay,
no, because 15 years is kind of disrespectful because you're not counting 99.
5 championships. 5 championships.
5 out of 20 is really good because some teams don't even.
I know. 5 championships. Spaced out between what?
You had the last championship of the 90s, 99. You got one in 2003. Yeah, 2003 because the Lakers was 2000, 2001, 2002. Yeah, 2003. You beat LeBron. You beat LeBron's ass in 2007. You beat LeBron's ass again in Wait, I feel like I forgot one.
Didn't they beat Bron in 05?
No, they beat the Pistons.
Beat the Pistons in 05.
They beat the Pistons in 05. They beat the Pistons. Yeah, so okay. They beat the Knicks in 99. They beat the Nets in 2003. 2005, they beat the Pistons.
05.
One day we're going to watch that series, G. I'm making Daytra watch that series.
It would be very boring.
2007 was the Cavs. And then they win the final one in 2013.
14.
14, whichever one. Whichever year it is.
14. It was 14.
Whichever year. So yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So like
yeah, 15 years.
Yeah.
This is their first time missing the playoffs in 20 years.
A little over 20 years. They like
he used to it.
Yeah, like it's just
that's just how it's their time to dwindle down for a little bit and kind of reset.
Yeah, it's like okay. The perfect analogy to them is comparison is the Patriots in the NFL. The Patriots are doing everything they can to stay relevant right now. Why? Because like your greats just went away, and like the person who's supposed to keep the greatness going went away, which is Kawhi. For the Patriots, it was technically Tom Brady was the consistent piece, but even over time, that dwindled. But over time, it's just like, well, damn, there's only so much that a great coach can really do if he doesn't have the talent around him. And then like when you do put the talent around, it's not the same quality of talent. They're not the
you don't have a generational talent in Tim Duncan anymore. You don't have a top 3 two-way player in Kawhi anymore. You got to work with all stars at best.
Yeah, all stars, but even then, it's like the conference that you dominated for so long got so much better, a lot better, and it's like you're also in the process of rebuilding, and also you're all like arguably one of the greatest coaches ever knows his time is up. So it's just like he's still around because he just wants to put the pieces to go for the next person. So it's like the Patriots. It's just like it's almost time to pass the keys. Like you're trying to prosper. Like the Patriots, unfortunately, Cam Newton at this point in his career is like DeRozan. It's dope to see he's gonna do some dope shit, but it's like ain't Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. It's not Tim Duncan and Pop. It's not the same. It's just not. So it's the Spurs is like unfortunate. Like they're just there at that point where it's just like it's time to
Spurs Our
break it all
Old Man
apart.
Logan right now. It's coming to an
No,
end.
because Old Man Logan at least had one last run. Dirk was Old Man Logan. Dirk was Old Man Logan. So that's probably a good analogy. Dirk was Old Man Logan. I might name the episode that. But yeah, it's just, it's just time for the Spurs to just really just look themselves in the mirror and say, break it all down. And probably not going to be this season, but because DeRozan opted in, but so that you're still going to be fake competitive. And I don't think
When is
really
Pop's last season on his contract?
I don't know because coach's contract.
Did he give like a timetable of when
he never did,
like
but you could just tell he's getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah. So I think whenever he decides I'm done, I think that's when they're gonna be like, okay, this.
No, because even then, I will do it sooner. It's like, bro.
I would say it's probably coming within like a season or two.
Yeah, so that's my point. Like, blow it up then. It's not like you're not about to get a star coming to San Antonio. Unless Kawhi literally apologized and says, okay, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I shouldn't have left y'all. I could have probably had a championship more or two. But even then, he says a championship, so he's not in the wrong, to be honest. But ain't like Kawhi's about to come walking back. It's a possibility, but I don't see it. Like, you're not about to bring a star. The Spurs was always built around bringing in, like, developing stars. So for that to happen, literally, David Robinson did all he could and took him freaking tearing the ACL, and they got Tim Duncan. So, like, it's that time. It's just that time. It's that time where it's just like,
and
blow it all up. You can't do it this year.
Every franchise got to go through this phase.
Yeah, just every franchise. There's nothing wrong, and the Spurs is gonna be able to build it back up. Like, it's your time to rebuild. Let DeJounte Murray be the number one option for the next year, 2-3 years, and you see what you can do. Go from there. But let's go ahead and talk about the Pelicans. Pelicans is gonna be once again a sexy pick for a lot of teams. It's just they're not the sexy pick for me. Now they will be once again. They're another team in the. I feel like they're guaranteed to be in the play-in tournament talk. They're guaranteed it. I like Stan Van Gundy as a coach. He's going I still need to see more on what he plans to do in terms with this roster. I think the biggest sin is not starting JJ Redick. I was just looking at the box score. I'm like, why is JJ Redick not starting? But or he just didn't play that game. But JJ Redick needs to start. And one thing that the biggest red flag was Brandon Ingram said after the game they had yesterday or a couple days ago, they want me to shoot more threes. That's a major red flag because, for one, that means the plan is to give Zion a lot of fucking touches inside because they know that fat nigga can't shoot. He'll get hot, but he can't shoot. If Brandon Ingram's gonna be relegated to be the shoot more threes, you're fucking doomed. If that's the case, because that nigga's not about to become Rashard Lewis. Because the ideal situation is that you do treat Zion like Dwight Howard in a way, just with a little bit more inside post moves. Because Zion actually has post moves, unlike Dwight. But at that in Magic, I'm talking Magic Dwight Howard. But I feel like that limits who Ingram is. Because that was kind of the one problem that Ingram had with playing with LeBron in LA. They dang near turned that nigga to a spot-up shooter. And yes, field goal percentage went up last year in terms of shooting threes, but the nigga's not a shooter. He's a scorer. He just took more smarter threes because he was just probably taking them off dribble. Lonzo is slowly becoming a better shooter, but still. The main problem with that team for it to fully work is you don't have enough shooting. At all. But I'm optimistic because I like Van Gundy as a coach. He's a smart coach. He's far from a bad coach. He literally took freaking Dwight Howard and others to the finals just to get the ask about Kobe, but you still took them to the finals. So I like Van Gundy. I want to see where it goes, but they're a play-in tournament team. I don't see them making the playoffs, but they'll be in the conversation. They're just a sexy pick.
I don't see them. Yeah, they're gonna be a play-in tournament team, but I don't see them. This is just gonna be the year for the Pelicans to get Zion on TV as much as they freaking can. They want. This is the era of Zion for them, and they just wanna. They wanna plaster him everywhere as much as they can. That's gonna be the main thing. They don't. I don't even. Granted, like you said, they have a good coach in Stan Van Gundy, and he still needs to put a plan in place so see what they can do. But I don't think they're gonna be that good of a team, to be honest. I just don't. It's just being set up for it to. Like you said, it's gonna be a Magic team, with less talent around your Dwight, so to speak. You have. I don't think Brandon Ingram's gonna finish out his stint in New Orleans neither. I think he's probably gonna get traded at some point, depending on how well or how worse things might get between the two parents. We have to. I would say still give it some time, but I don't see Brandon Ingram staying there. I think, like you said, it stunts his growth as a player and as all around player.
Because he has a really good skill set.
And I like him a lot. I actually, and not to say I'm not shitting on Zion or nothing, but I like Zion. I like Brandon Ingram's ceiling more than I like Zion's in a way.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's strictly in the offensive sense. Like Zion can probably be whatever the hell he wants to be, but the nigga needs to choose not to be fat, and all of that. But in case of right now, Ingram should still be the number one scoring option. Zion should be number 2.
Agreed.
That's just me. Could be wrong, but that's just me. All right, Trell, you go ahead because I already know you ready to probably say some shit. I'm ready. We ready.
I'll just look. I ain't about to slander. I'm probably about to slander. What makes this team better than something like Phoenix? There's something like maybe even the Spurs. There's something like the Blazers. There's something like all those teams got better this offseason. What the fuck did the Pelicans do?
Steven Adams.
They
got Steven Adams.
Steven Adams. They arguably lost their best defender. They lost their best defender in Drew Holiday. That's all they did.
Lost their best defender too. Think about this. They told Brandon Ingram, we need you to shoot more threes. So then they're gonna become a team that's focused on perimeter shoot. That's their best player right now until Zion coming to Zion ship, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Got that. Then your second best player after Brandon Ingram is Zion. Then your third best player is who?
Technically Lonzo.
It's a tie between Lonzo, JJ Redick, and fucking Steven Adams. What makes that team and we gonna fight for this playoff spot? What the fuck you doing in the bubble? Minus Steven Adams. Shit. Got shitted on. Every chance they got. The same exact team, just with Steven Adams and without Drew Holiday. That team ain't going nowhere. Prove me wrong, Pelicans. I want you to.
That's Daytrail's
Bruce
point.
should have never gave that man that money. If he walks, he walks. Brandon Ingram would be a fantastic bull. Let him walk.
I would honestly keep it real. I would love Brandon
I was just going to say, I would love to see Brandon Ingram in the Bulls jersey.
I would love
but
the Bulls.
In this competitive West mindset, your mind frame should be, let's try to build something around him instead of let's try to keep this one man. That's not going to move the needle. I love Brandon Ingram. I love his game. I remember the first day I met him, I asked him who he was. He looked at me like I was stupid. But I still met Brandon Ingram more than all of you niggas that's listening right now. So
that's the funny thing is that sounds exactly what Brandon Ingram would do. You be like, nigga, you don't know who the fuck I am?
Yeah, then they told me, yo, that's Brandon Ingram. He going number 2 at Duke. I mean, he going number 2 in the draft. I was like, huh. And then he went number 2. That's how much I know about college hoops. But yeah, I don't think they're going nowhere. Like, I'm not about to really slander. I'm not on Zion as a top 15 player train yet, because there's players who.
No, that's just ESPN being goofy as usual.
No, it's more than
It's
ESPN.
more than ESPN, bro. It's others. Niggas is very freaking high on Zion.
I'm not validating anybody that's not a credible news source anyway. So that I already know.
Games in a row.
That too. He got to play literally. Like Zion without the minutes restriction is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting because literally, it's gonna really see like, okay, can he handle 72 games? Because people forget this is still gonna be a shortened season, but can he handle 72 games of a workload without his knees and his body saying, "Damn, bro, maybe I need to drop 30 pounds." It be that way sometimes, but let's move on from the Pelicans. Let's go ahead and let's head up to Phoenix Suns. Now, Phoenix Suns, I'm very high on. Extremely high on.
They're definitely making the playoffs.
I feel like they should make the playoffs. They are my 8th seed right now. They are my 8th seed. But the Suns, I'm very high on. I believe they can. They like even last year. They like even despite all the injuries that they had, some of the shenanigans that they had to go through with what's his name getting suspended for freaking alleged wrong drug use. They were still a very competitive team to watch on League Pass, and it just sucks that it took until the bubble for them to figure it out because they were finally healthy all together. Like Rubio, all of them was healthy. Even though you lost all of that to get Chris Paul, I still like the makeup of the roster. It's very clear who the pecking order is. It's very clear that it's Booker, Aiden, and Chris Paul. It's very clear with your youngins, and you got the ideal veterans you have on the team to make things work. Like, I forgot they got Jay Crowder. And even though I'm not the biggest Jay Crowder fan, but he can shoot, he knows his role, he's going to play good defense, and he's going to be the tough guy. And it's nice to have a secondary tough guy with Chris Paul on the team. So, and Chris Paul is literally going to make the best out of the others, the young people. So, they're going to be a great team to watch, fun team to watch. And I'm hoping that Chris Paul pushes Devin Booker to the next level.
To see this team being a good, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just the West is too deep.
When the West is that. I love the team and the makeup of it. They made some good changes. Yeah. It's really going to be Devin Booker team with Chris Paul will be getting the ball out his hand all fucking game, which will be great. It's going to be good for his development. It's going to be good for DeAndre Ayton because they're going to pass it to him in the post and come off pick and rolls and all that type of stuff. It's going to be really good for that team. That coach will probably win Coach of the Year.
Monty Williams is a good coach, by the way.
I know. Monty Williams will probably win Coach of the Year for taking the team now. It's probably absolute garbage to playoffs. Who's the Coach of the Year this year?
Last year, wasn't it? Didn't Nick Nurse win again? I know the coaches gave. I believe the coaches, because I think they only told us one of the coaches won. The coaches gave to Nick Nurse. I believe it was Nick Nurse. Yeah, it was Nick Nurse, I believe. I think he won it.
Yeah, Nick Nurse.
Yeah. But yeah,
made no sense.
Monty Williams is a solid coach, and he was dang near the Lakers coach. It's just I don't know what the fuck happened. But yeah, Tyler, you could go ahead and talk about the Suns.
I definitely think they can solidify a seed. Now, like you guys said, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. You know, sometimes stuff happens like that. But I think they're definitely going in the right direction with the Chris Paul pickup. You know, it definitely helps. It gives you a piece that you needed. Like, Ricky Rubio was a good point guard, but he's no Chris Paul. Chris Paul can set up your offense like that. We saw how he just clicked with the Thunder last season and over exceeded expectations for them because they really gave them a 0.2% chance of making the playoffs or something like that. They end up being a top 5 seed. So I think Chris Paul is a difference maker. You still, like you said, you still have a good coach in Monty Williams. Devin Booker can take another leap this year. A lot of things can happen for the Phoenix Suns. So they're going in the right direction. And if at best they're 8 seed team, I consider that a win for them, for sure.
Yeah, definitely agree. Let's go ahead and move on. Let's talk about Portland. Portland's probably the most interesting team. Portland's interesting because it could be the season where, for one, they just finally say, "Hey, all our normal offseason moves just ain't hitting," because literally they had a classic Portland offseason by getting Robert Covington Jr. They got Derek Jones, and they got somebody else. It was somebody else they got, and I was like, these are all good moves. Portland should be a top 4 seed, healthy or not. But I just don't see it being a needle turner. Like, they can either make the playoffs, be comfortably in between the 6 and 7 range, or they literally just nothing works out. Melo's age starts kicking in. Robert Covington isn't who they thought he was supposed to be, and all the other and injuries just start catching up, and reality just kicks in, and Terry Stotts finally loses his job because that nigga, there's no way a coach in his type of position keeps his job for as long as he has and hasn't delivered the results when you have a top 10 level player like Dame. CJ's arguably the greatest second option you can ever have, even though technically I think you can do better. Bradley Beal, bro. Bradley Beal's
is the goddamn horror of the NBA at this point.
Literally, Bradley Beal can go on a lot of teams. They'd be like, "Oh man, that's a hell of a goddamn difference." But CJ McCollum, literally, it has been a perfect pairing with Dame. But I think they need core changes if things don't work out. Because I feel like
and that's why
Now go ahead.
I feel like I kind of want them to miss the playoffs this year. I need them to kind of get a reality check and show our backs are against the wall now. Like, we just completely missed the playoffs, and we barely made the playoffs last year. Now it's time for some real changes. They haven't made any real changes whatsoever since they've gotten drafted Dame. They haven't done anything worth a damn. It's just barely getting them by. And they're kind of getting in we talked about this off the pod before. It's like the Trailblazers is one of those. They're a small market team, and they're just lucky to have a player like Dame because he keeps asses and
keeps them afloat.
But they kind of, in a way, they kind of remind me of how the Bulls were when they, in the Garpax era. They do what they can to get by and to make oh, this is a pretty move. We'll do this. But it's not pushing the needle for nobody. So I feel like they kind of need that punch in the chest. Not making the playoffs is usually when a team is like, okay, especially for a team that's been making the playoffs. Okay, now it's time for us to make some type of change, some real change somewhere. At least try to do something.
I'm tired of seeing Dame get stumped out, so I hope they don't make the playoffs because of that.
And that too, because I really do like Dame is one of my favorite players in the league right now. Regardless if he has a good series or not. But I hate to see him, keep going out in ways he shouldn't have to go out. He wouldn't be getting swept, or getting 4-1. I mean, if you're still going up against the Lakers, you probably still are, depending on how good your team is. But You know what I mean? Like
You're
they
still
could- they
getting
could do
4-1
better
to the
if
Lakers.
they- if
G,
they-
I'm sorry. You're still getting 4-1. But
If they make it to the playoffs, I want to see them go against the Clippers.
I agree.
Yeah, I think they would have gave the Clippers a better series than the Lakers.
Literally,
They would have lasted longer with
based
them.
off how the Clippers went in. Like, we got to factor in Luka took them to 6 with a bad ankle and no Porzingis. So Dame, who was playing some of the best basketball in his life, was probably going to send Pat Bev to hell. Paul George, no offense and no shame towards what he was going through, wasn't there mentally. And you was going to leave Kawhi. Oh, wait. And Reggie Jackson was playing heavy minutes at point guard.
Will get cooked.
Still gonna be playing heavy minutes at point guard.
And still will be playing heavy minutes at point guard. Now,
Getting cooked.
so it would be funny to see them play in the playoffs this year because it would be a fun series to see. Extremely fun series to see. But, yeah, with Portland, they should, once again, they should make the playoffs. But I think for the greater good, they should miss the playoffs. Like, as of right now, they my 7th seed. As of right now. Like, I like the moves make sense. They're probably better to play with on 2K a little bit. They got defenders, you know. But at the end of the day, Terry Stotts is your coach, and I feel like that nigga shouldn't even have a job still. It's like Brett Brown. It's like, okay, we see you made the playoffs the past few years. And for Terry Stotts' case, for a good decade, honestly. How the hell do you still have this job? Yeah, you made a conference finals. Neat. Cool. You got swept by KD-less Warriors. You lost the playoff series where Steph only played 2 games. 1.5 of a game. Clay and Draymond was cooking you. And that's just the Warriors highlights. So it's like, gee, it's like, bro, I wish the best for y'all. Well, Dane specifically, but I think they need to make some legit changes for the greater good to tell me that, hey, we're serious about being competitive long term. And not just because Dame is here and when we finally have crowds again, he's going to sell out seats. Because Dame at this point is going to become John Stockton, just wearing red and black and with rapping talent.
I would say Jason Kidd, but Jason Kidd got that petty ring in Dallas, so.
And Jason Kidd took his team to the finals. Even though it was the East, we know it's the East.
No,
he still
it twice
took his
or 2
team to the
times?
finals.
Twice, because he got
Twice.
smoked by the Lakers and smoked by Timmy.
Exactly. And it's like, gee, you
Oh yeah.
you ran into some real niggas. That's the thing.
Prime Shaq and Prime Tim Duncan.
Like what did you think was gonna happen? But yeah, so Portland's like the Spurs, where it's just like, but the difference is they're good enough to make the playoffs. It's just like, bro, y'all need some changes. But let's go ahead and move on to the Jazz. Part of me feel like the Jazz might fall off this year, but a part of me feel like once again they're not. Donovan Mitchell's still only gonna get better. Rudy Gobert is still there, and you still, for some reason, develop good enough role players where it works. And also, their coach, whatever his name is, I can't think of his name right now, is a really great coach. He's a really great coach.
They like the OG Memphis Grizzlies. They just don't always be there.
Yeah, they're just gonna be there. Like they're gonna have competitive 7-game series in the first round or second round, and just sit there and be like, "Damn, these niggas is good," but it's just like we know we can beat them. Like they're gonna take the top teams and challenge them, and be like, "Damn, man, that was a good test. We needed that. All right, we're gonna sweep the rest of the way." like that's the Jazz. They're too good to. They're good enough in the sense where as a team and because of coaching, they're going to be
middle
good.
of the pack team.
Yeah, they're going to be middle of the pack. They might finesse being a top 4 seed somehow. Not this year. But but you know what I mean. They're gonna be. They can do that.
The biggest problem with that team right now is not only do they not make enough moves, but Mike Conley is going to get $34 million this year.
Mike Conley is stealing money. They should have got Mike Conley 3 years ago.
Why did he go there anyway? It's like because he didn't even start last season.
Didn't they trade him?
Yeah, he signed at that max with the Grizzlies. They traded that nigga.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he signed that max and immediately got hurt.
Oh yeah, because he wasn't the same. Yep. Because Mike Conley was one of the first players to get the stupid, crazy maxes. It's like, yo, Mike Conley's currently the highest paid point guard in the league. It was like niggas was like the fuck.
Until Steph Curry like a fucking month later or something like that.
Yeah, it took a minute. But yeah, that was that weird year when the salary cap went up crazy. But yeah, like they got Conley 2-3 years too late. And it was just like, you know what, man? He's here, but it's just like, damn, we really have him. I will say this though, Jordan Clarkson was really good with the Jazz last year though. He was really good. That was a really underrated pickup. But they paid him, so he's probably happy because he got paid this offseason. I think they gave him like $50-60 million to come on, be their sixth man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're going to be good. They have a Bogdanovich brother, so if they run into the Clippers. Oh wait, they still the Clippers' freaking worst nightmare. You got a Bogdanovich brother and Joe Ingles.
So, you got to give Joe Ingles a nickname.
PG Killer,
like one of those.
The Cucamonga crack. Oh no, let me quit. I don't know, bro. Now I don't even remember Joe Ingles playing this season. Most don't even start on 2K.
Bro, Joe Ingles don't play until you see Paul George.
Yeah, that's when he goes from a 60 overall to a goddamn 91.
With all defensive, with all gold defensive badges when he's guarding Paul George specifically. But
yeah, nobody should ever let Paul George down. If you ever come to the podcast, we interview him at the end of the show. I'm asking, why do you let Joe Ingles hoop you up like that?
I need an explanation. I'm gonna need a good explanation for that. Keep it G real. I know I don't know how we skipped OKC. OKC, they're not doing shit. I'll take that back. OKC's gonna be the worst team in the league. My fault.
Yeah.
I apologize to the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies and whatever team I said. The OKC's gonna be the worst team in the league. That's all we need to say about them.
They finally fallen off the cliff. They finally fallen off the cliff. It's over with.
Exactly.
OKC gonna be worse than like the Pistons or
the Pistons still have.
The Pistons are healthy. They probably still make the playoffs.
Yeah, the Pistons is in the East. Gee, you're the main one that pushes the bottom part of the East's ass. So literally, you can the Pistons can still finesse the playoffs it's the big if of Blake is healthy. That's the narrative that team will forever live by.
Might have the worst record in the league. You're right.
Yeah, so it's like the Pistons just gave niggas money. That was the
Mason Plumlee specifically. Get that man $30 million. For what?
To do nothing. But yeah, so that's it about OKC. Nothing else to really say. Dallas Mavericks, man. Luka's gonna be MVP. This is gonna be. I'm just letting people know now. This is gonna be a Luka agenda podcast from here on out. Luka.
How old is Luka, by the way?
Luka's only 20. He's about to be 21 at the end of the season. So I think
if he wins MVP, he's gonna be the second youngest MVP.
Either second or the youngest, depending. Either or. But Luka.
I mean, yeah, he would be the youngest.
Yeah, so we're pushing the Luka agenda here all the way, my nigga. So he should win MVP. It will be interesting to see how things go without Porzingis for the first month, but I think they'll be fine either way. Dwight Powell's back. So at least he has somebody to throw alley oops to, but Luka is probably gonna throw some crazy stats. He does, and also they did a better job protecting him defensively. By adding a Josh Richardson, Tim Hardaway Jr. solid on defense. I think they're going to miss Seth Curry. They're going to miss Seth Curry because I don't think they even got a shooter to replace him with. But they are a JJ Redick trade away from fixing that. Obviously,
I was just about to say JJ Redick would be perfect for him.
they are a JJ Redick trade away. From
and he a cracker too.
He's a perfect Dallas Maverick. He's a perfect Dallas Maverick, G. So, JJ Redick, we got nothing but love for you, G. But hey, but literally, he will be the ideal Mark Cuban Maverick, G. So, like, I like the Mavericks. They're definitely a playoff team. Luka's probably gonna drag them to be like in a 6-5 conversation.
Yep.
Now, if Porzingis comes back and he's like healthy, definitely they might be as great as the top 4 seed. Probably top 4. Probably. Yeah. But like they're gonna be a fun team to watch. Shout out to Luka.
And how many teams we got left?
We're towards the end. We got the Rockets next, and then from there is just a few teams from there. The Rockets,
Lakers, and Clippers.
Yeah, so Rockets, I think we just keep it G real. Everything falls on James Harden. They can make the playoffs, or they're not going to make the playoffs.
It's really a big ass question mark.
Yeah, that's the biggest question mark because the Rockets could honestly make it where one of the teams that we said, oh, they might not make the playoffs, but they in the conversation make the playoffs because the Rockets just don't because James Harden don't give a fuck. So that's as far as we got to say with the Rockets. The biggest question mark of it falls on James Harden. Then let's talk about the Nuggets real quick. They the Nuggets. Like they're going to be they should be a top 2, top 3 seed easy. No problem.
Yeah, Nuggets gonna be good. Like I always say, they got that chip on their shoulder, and I think Jokic will also be in the MVP talks this year. He will definitely be in that shit. I think his will be very loud. I think this is gonna be a very white MVP talk this year. Other than like Anthony Davis and Greek Freak, you got Jokic and him.
I think Giannis is gonna get the fatigue, the voter fatigue this year. I'm not even putting him in the conversation.
I don't know. I don't Anthony Davis is running between one of them.
Insert himself into every talk.
With Clay gone, I think definitely Steph ain't winning it.
Steph's gonna have to put up them simulated 2K numbers.
Yeah, no, Steph gonna have to average 30, not average 30.
I think Steph is gonna have a MVP like season. This might be his first double season.
He had a
who the
double
fuck is he
season.
passing it to?
Andrew Wiggins and Kelly Oubre.
Wiggins.
Nigga, is you watching this preseason game?
Yeah, they started getting slapped up.
Hey, bro, Steph usage rate is gonna be above 60%.
That was very too.
They
Like I said,
you have no defense.
Like I said, Steph is gonna put up those simulated 2K numbers, bro.
You can't win an MVP if your ass not in the fucking 8th seed or 6th seed or some shit like that.
Hey, and I forgot we didn't even talk about the Warriors, but that in itself, everything with the Warriors is gonna follow the line of the biggest story with the Warriors is gonna be Wiggins and Draymond. What the hell with those two? If Draymond, and who's skinny by the way, he looked like Trell. Oh yeah, I didn't even show the picture to Trell yet, G, because I wanted you to be there. I want Daytro to be there. I want Daytro to be the one to show that man, so that way it don't look as bogus. But skinny Draymond, so we'll see where that goes. Wiggins is the biggest question mark of that team because if he can't be a consistent, solid second option, they might not. They'll be in the play-in tournament talk as well.
Get rid of that nigga.
If you can finesse a team for Wiggins, but good fucking luck. he also has a horrible contract. Good luck. So, the Warriors is one of those like, okay, whatever. Anything you want to add about that team, Daytra?
I see the. I want the Warriors to lose. I hate they fat side of Twitter. I really do.
Yeah, we don't rock with
So
that fan base.
I love the Warriors, but I hate their Twitter. I hate their Twitter fans. Shit is ass.
But yeah,
I think Steph Curry is one of the greatest players of all time. I love Draymond and his way of playing. I'm not too mad at Wiggins. Kelly Oubre is Kelly Oubre. I like it. Steve Curry is an overrated coach, but I'll rock with him.
all right. Let's go ahead and talk about the Clippers. Clippers have gave Paul George got 200 something million too much money. Too much fucking money.
But they had to.
At the same time, they had to. Because you don't trade away your future and you don't keep said thing that you chose to trade the future for. So they fucked themselves. Technically, Kawhi did. But yes, Paul George got $225 million from that. To literally be technically the number 2 option.
That's in the backboard.
And hit the backboard. And to be playoff P and don't show up in the playoffs. So with all that being said,
I want to say they probably gave Paul George that money because they not certain with Kawhi.
And that's the point.
Yeah.
That's why you had to
Kawhi
show, because Kawhi has not shown. Kawhi acting like he goddamn LeBron, G. He walking around like he KD and Bron with this shit, G. And he's not. He moving like he them, but you're not them, bro. They could hold a team hostage.
It's not a championship team. Now, like, I'm at the point where I'm saying, yo, NBA proved me wrong with a lot of stuff. But the way this team's set up, you got Kawhi, Paul George. And that's it, bro. And that's so bad.
Better. They didn't get any worse, but they didn't get any better. Now, losing Montrez is kind of a,
you got worse.
Sword.
Your bench got worse in terms of scoring. Like, okay. It's like offensively, you lost 16, 18 points. But according to them, Montrez was so bad defensively. I don't think he was that bad defensively. It's just he got fucking his ass whooped by Jokic.
Bro, there wasn't nothing he could do in that series, and there was nothing he was going to be able to do.
Bro, we talking about Jokic.
AD.
Who literally...
Okay, that's fucking cap, though. What the fuck did Ivica Zubac do?
Zubac, they said people, from what I've seen, because of Zubac's height, he did a little bit better. Keyword, a little bit better.
It didn't make a difference.
Yo, I don't know what you said, but it's like we ran away as you were saying that shit.
Short it up, that nigga almost averaged 30.
He did. But they said most of that 30 was on Montrez. People put most of that 30 on Montrez.
Nigga, and it's not just much. Nigga, what in the fucking what in the Grants? One of the Grant brothers or something like that? I fucking hooped y'all up.
Jeremy Grant did hoop him up to get a contract.
That's how he's trying to hit none of that shit. That was a team effort. Don't blame. I don't even like Montrez held like that. Don't blame Montrez.
Yeah, like Montrez and Paul George was the gimme blames on that, but people don't want to talk about Kawhi being the leader because once again, if this was LeBron, goddamn James or KD, we know where that blame was gonna go. We know where that blame was gonna go. And people forget as if they did not put Kawhi Leonard, and we was part of that conversation a little bit of saying Kawhi was the best player in the league going into last year. Now it's like everybody got out their goddamn championship high horse and realized, yeah, Kawhi is probably just a solid switch around.
They came up with the whoever win the championship, they the best player in the league bullshit. That was the way people turned it around.
Yeah.
Like that, no. You can look back to tape. I always said KD was the best player in the league back then. When Kawhi won that fucking championship. Going into that next season, I said KD was the better player.
Because a lot of people was going a little too far saying that he did this with the Raptors, he was better than KD.
He was
I
better than
cap on
he was
that
better than KD. He was
and
better than Bron.
I love Kawhi as a player. He's still one of my favorite players, but that just wasn't it. It was no one.
And he coming off a bum Achilles is still unguardable, my nigga.
He came in and dropped 11 points, and they couldn't do shit about it.
He couldn't do shit. Kawhi
Kawhi couldn't do nothing about it.
I think 8 of that 11 was on Kawhi.
It was. We could roll the tapes back.
If it wasn't the whole 11, it was 8 of the 11 was on Kawhi. But so, and I don't mean to turn the Clippers talking to Kawhi slander, but it's just us being realistic here. If y'all want to say this man at one point was the best player in the league going into that season because he won a championship, that some people kind of want to, that at least people will put an asterisk on saying KD and Clay wasn't there. So regardless how you feel, it's an honest take. But at the same time, if you want to say he's the best, you can't sit there and tell me that he doesn't get none of the blame like the best players do. We didn't blame Chris Middleton and goddamn Eric Bledsoe for Giannis freaking getting swept or almost swept by the Heat. We put that on Giannis because Giannis could have been better. Literally, like, we got to be honest here about this shit, G. Like, if Kawhi, like, we put in the shit on Steph. We put the blame on Steph when he loses.
We gave Steph hell.
I hate Steph Curry, but I respect the man. I'm not going to sit there and deny his greatness, but at the same time, I give Steph hell. I'm very critical of that nigga. Very critical.
Another example. When Jordan lost to Shaq and Penn, whose head did they go at? They didn't go at Scotty. They went at Mike.
LeBron motherfucking James.
LeBron has been getting it his entire career. Every time LeBron does something. The best player
at one point was Matthew Dellavedova, and then 3 or 2 years later, my math is shitty because I'm sleepy. His second best player was a goddamn Kevin Love who had depression, and his third best player was Kyle Korver. But no, the Warriors won that shit. That was woo. I want to hear that shit. Kawhi was ass. The nigga had 12 points the whole entire game, closeout game. He's the best player in the league.
Can't let that slide.
Nigga was this close to losing his finals MVP to goddamn Kyle Lowry. And Fred's MVP.
Hey, don't forget, if Kyle Lowry did not get his shot blocked by Draymond in Game 5, Kyle Lowry was fucking the finals MVP. I don't give a fuck. I would have voted for him. Let's just keep it real. So, hey, like, respect the Kawhi, but I understand that LeBron is in GOAT talk. Kawhi ain't. But when you sit there and say in present terms, we gotta treat him like the best player in the world. Best players in the world do not sit there and have 12 points on poor shooting in a closeout game where literally there should be nobody on the court to guard you. But you let Jeremy Grant sit there and earn $20 million on you. The man earned $20 million because he guarded Kawhi so well.
Man picked up a Hooper's bounty.
But Paul George gets the blame. Montrez gets the blame. Doc Rivers got fired. Fired. And then niggas had the nerve to put the blame on him. So hopefully Ty Lue as a coach does and that Athletic article is nasty. Very freaking nasty. That Athletic article is nasty. So shout out to Montrez and others for leaking information. But the Clippers still going to be still as a guaranteed top 4 team in the West easily. Probably top 2, top 3 at the very at top 3, top 4. I mean top 4 at the worst. Top 2, number 2 or 3 at the best, at the very best. So It's just hopefully what Ty Lue wants to do works. And Kawhi plays to the Kawhi level that people hold him up to. Paul George is gonna be Paul George. He got his bread. He's gonna be able to live comfortably in LA for the next 6 years. No matter what. He don't even need to play back to that his third place MVP season, which I wish he said specifically when he placed for MVP. Not win, but placed for MVP. So, like they're still gonna be a great team, but you still need a point guard badly, very badly, and everything. Especially if you talking about you about to let Paul George run point and Luke Kennard run point at times, and I think Lou Will has a huge drop off. Lou Will is probably gonna have a nasty drop off.
Will's expendable at this moment.
Very expendable.
Ready about the trade deadline. Welcome, Lou Will.
And they better hope they get somebody that actually going to help them in places they need help at.
To the Orlando Magic, Lou Will. He's gonna be Orlando Magic, and DJ Augustine gonna be a guy.
DJ Augustine's on the Bucks.
When did that happen?
It was very subtle. It was the most subtle of free agency moves, G. Because I forgot.
It was in the midst of the whole debacle with the that Kings trade.
Terrence Ross gonna be a Clipper.
That's literally straight to DVD Lou Will.
Lou Will is gonna be a Magic or a Chicago Bull. One of the two.
Oh my God.
Yo,
you
I'm
ain't
be
never
mad
just say straight to DVD
because Lou Will and Kobe White is the same player.
He's gonna put Kobe White under his non-defensive ass wing. And he'll be like, yo, I'm gonna teach you how to play so niggas can like you but not hate you.
Lou Will just will probably come to Chicago solely so he can sit there and say, I've been to every major market. You can't tell me nothing. It's just we're in a pandemic, so Chicago ain't gonna be that lit. but yeah, so the Clippers, like, they the Clippers. Like, and I hate to say it like this, but they're gonna be good in the regular season. But the question is gonna be, how good are you gonna be come playoff time? Is Ibaka actually going to stop Jokic and AD?
No, we can answer that now. No.
Is it an improvement defensively? Yes. But is it going to make a difference? Is it going to make a difference in a series where you have to win 4 games? No. No.
Ibaka is going to be mad that he even came here. Y'all brought me here to get cooked by these motherfuckers.
Like, you brought literally, come on, man. Like, even Marc Gasol knows, hey, at least I don't need to freaking guard Jokic. That's AD job. Ibaka's sole purpose is to guard them two. Let that sink in. It's not going to be good for my boy. This is not OKC Ibaka. You was better off probably freaking finessing Michael Jordan to give you the other African dude that's been scamming niggas. Because I can't... Biombo. There we go.
Biombo?
There we go. You was better off getting him. It would have been the same nigga. Straight up. But, yeah. That's the Clippers, man. Like, they're going to be a good regular season team, but talk to me come playoff time. And the Lakers. We already know the Lakers going to be number 1 seed. Everybody say A.
They literally, on paper, because we got to see how it goes up, have the best team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And they have everything you need as a team. You have two of the top 5 best players in the league. Okay, that's just a luxury right there, right? You probably just want to have one. And then a good, solid top 15, top 20 player, which you got top 2 players in the league. Top 5 top 7 players in the league. You have a team full of vets that win. Marc Gasol, Bron.
Dennis Schroeder.
That's probably. Dennis Schroeder number 1. Oh, I won a championship.
Oh, that one championship thing.
Yeah, well, Dudley now, I guess. But you got a lot of solid vets. You got defenders, Wesley Matthews, AD, KCP. You got shooters. You got athleticism.
You got point guard depth.
I guess.
You have Caruso.
You got athleticism and Caruso, Bron, AD, Trez. You got depth off the bench that is wild. Especially when Dennis Schroeder finally get off his horse and realize I'm better as a bench player. That bench depth is going to be insane.
That bench is going to give team buckets.
That bench is
the other Morris twin, right?
Conference team.
That bench literally has potential to give teams buckets. Because the funny thing amongst all of this, even though Kuzma's going to have a very prove me wrong type season, but Kuzma doesn't have to sit there and be like, shit, I got to score. Now it's like I could play my game and score my 11 to 12 efficiently.
I think as a starter, whenever Kuzma starts, he averages 20 points.
You should, yeah, easily. Yeah.
No, I think that's his average. It's 20 points.
As a starter.
As a starter, whatever he starts, right? I think before Bron and after Bron. He's going to be able to see those touches again off the bench because he's not relying on to be their primary scorer off the bench. Mm-hmm. That's probably going to be Montrez's job. Who knows?
More like Schroeder. Schroeder and Montrez, yeah, either way.
We got to wait till Schroeder realize that he a bench fucking player. That's probably going to be halfway mark of the season. So, looking nice. This is really looking nice. But the thing that I say, let me say no homo beforehand and afterhand. The thing that I say that takes him over the top is size. No homo. And the sheer length, no homo, of this team is outrageous. Marc Gasol, Anthony Davis. Every year we found out Bron is taller than 6'10". It's going to be crazy. The playmaking is going to be wild. I don't want to get too high on this team just for expectations to get shot down midway through the season because shit happens. Championship high is a thing. But it's looking like they championship to lose. So, yeah. My prediction for the whole entire season at the end is going to be, and I'm sounding like Chris when I say this, but a Lakers-Phillies final. Lakers-Philly. That's how I see it. I see Philly as the best team in the East currently constructed because Ben Simmons can lock down Kyrie and maybe coming off a bum Achilles.
He could guard both. That's the thing.
I don't think anybody's still.
Okay, I'm not going to say he's going to lock KD down, but if you need to try to put somebody on KD, Ben Simmons could keep up and still kind of give him some muscle. That's what I mean.
And nobody's seeing Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is one of the most disrespected all-stars in our league today. That thing is amazing. But he most likely will be going home crying. But my thing is, I want to see Philly versus the Lakers.
Before I make that prediction, Talon Horton Tucker, G. I hope Frank Vogel finds a way to get this man some more minutes. But as I think I predicted, he's probably going. He's been playing like he's going to be a star in another 2 seasons, which helps the Lakers out because that's your youth, the pair of AD, post LeBron. But if Tucker who's literally looking this good in the preseason. In some of these games, in those 2 games, he has started. That means he was seeing a Paul George and a Kawhi Leonard guarding him. And he gave their ass buckets. I want people to remember that. Like, I hope Frank Vogel finds ways to get him in the rotation. That boy cold.
Boys got game by a nigga named Kyle Guy.
Who?
Can I hold that? Yes, they got game by a nigga named Kyle Guy.
Who got game by Kyle Guy?
The Warriors.
The game is still on right now.
It's over. Oh, it went to overtime?
Nigga, it's 5 minutes left in the game.
You got a late ass stream, Chris.
I swear the stream late as shit. Cause how are you 5 minutes behind? How are you a whole Yo, G, this shit just, I don't know when that shit delayed, but that shit delayed hard as hell.
We literally were on 1 minute ago, Chris.
Bro.
And that's what Twitter put videos
G, it's 5 minutes left of the game. I'm just looking at it right now. Bro, I didn't know this shit was lagging that hard, bro. Yo, man, Sling TV do better with y'all streaming, G. Please, dog. Like, damn. But yeah, G. So I hope Frank Vogel finds some rotations for Tucker, G. Cause that nigga cold. That nigga cold. And also, I don't think you saw the clip that Tony Allen said, but he knew he was a real one. Tony Allen, okay, it's a clip on Twitter where I think Tony Allen's on somebody podcast, and he said he saw Tylen Horton Tucker play in a G League game last year, and Tony Allen went up to him like, "Yo, what's up?" Who out the band? We know they both from Chicago. Tony Allen didn't know he was from Chicago because I guess he can't come home. If you check the archives when we was talking about real nigga NBA players, and Tony Allen cannot come home. He can't come to Chicago. So
only time Tony Allen comes to Chicago is when he played the Bulls. That's it.
And he got to leave immediately. But he said he met him then, and Tucker told him, "Yeah, I'm not even supposed to be here." In terms of he's not supposed to be in the G League. And Tony Allen said he lit that team up for like 30. He said 38 or something. And then Tony Allen was like, "Yo, that's a real nigga." And saw he was from Chicago. It's like, it all makes sense. So Tony Allen's big giving him high praise. So like people and even LeBron giving the kid praise. So like I'm hoping that he continues to do his thing out here, G. So but yeah, the Lakers is their championship to lose. My prediction is going to be Lakers Bucks. It's the early safe prediction. As much as I want to ride the Philly train, I do.
Oh yeah, you can't ride the Philly train no more.
Yeah, I can't ride the Philly train though. I still believe in them niggas. I got them in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's my Eastern Conference Finals. When we actually do the awards and shit, like it might change because I only seen that one preseason game. If I see another one, I'm like, yo, these niggas actually look out. I will probably sit there, but I'm going safe, throwing the Bucks in there.
Look, if they can find some way to offload Tobias Harris, this team is guaranteed to go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Until then, it ain't happening. I want to see them in the finals.
I want to see him in the finals too. There's no, G. I want to see Embiid and Ben Simmons make it work. I want to see Doc Rivers kind of have his redemption as a coach. So it was like, hey, like I'm for that. I'm shocked you said that, but right now I'm going Bucks. Like I just like the depth of the team right now. Like they have respectable depth. So yeah, Lakers Bucks. Tyler, what's your early finals pick?
I'm Philly Lakers, but with the asterisk by Philly. I need to see if they can both stay healthy for the whole season, because that's been the biggest thing. Because I feel like if they were healthy this season, they would have been a lot better.
Especially in the bubble. They could have finessed it in the bubble.
They would have smashed. They might have went undefeated in the bubble at least. You know,
They would have finessed the
till they
bubble.
got.
They
That
would
boy
have finessed the
John
bubble.
B was going through it.
That man and B was going through it, but like that's another question about Philly. Just them two staying healthy. But for me, it's just be healthy come playoff time, because it's
That's
literally
it.
like outside that 1 year, and it took Kawhi to freaking game them in Game 7, by the way. But that was the only year in the playoffs where both Simmons and Embiid were healthy, like fully healthy. I think the year when they lost to the Celtics,
series. They still had really good series. That whole team.
yeah. So like the year they lost to the Celtics 4-1, I think one of them was hurt with something. I don't remember what it was. One of them was hurt.
I think it was Ben.
Yeah, that year was Ben Simmons, and then the following year, everything worked. Yeah, everything worked out, and then this year, Ben Simmons was just out completely. So, like literally, if they can both be healthy come playoff time, they'll be straight. Because the half court game works. But we'll give you guys. Hopefully, we'll have another episode before the actual season starts, which is next week. So we'll give you guys our MVPs, kind of more well thought out other shit, hot takes. So be on the lookout for that. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment on the video as always. If you listen to it on the streaming service like SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, make sure you hit that subscribe button, comment, and like if possible as well. And make sure you buy your Tweaking Media shirt as well. Make sure you cop, please. The holidays. By the time I probably drop this episode, I'm going to have a new promo going on. So just be on the lookout on the Twitter pages at Threes from the Ring, or my Twitter page at deep_Chris_J. You will see the promo on there, because literally I want you guys to cop something going to Christmas or a little after Christmas, whenever they ship. Teespring's a little tricky, but make sure you copy some merch. Please, it'd be greatly appreciated. It's going to good things, which is us and us getting bigger and shit like that. I feel like I'm forgetting anything. No, I'm not. But we appreciate you niggas for listening, and peace.
Auf Wiedersehen.